It's a sandbox. It's a soapbox. It's Bandbox. Welcome to the Real Study with your hosts, Mr. Snitbits.
Because I do think the movie is good. I think the lighting is struggled. I think the cinematography is okay.
Black Girl Marvel.
Follow us on everything, because we will find you.
All the movie things.
So many young filmmakers and indie filmmakers took it and just went with it, and it became this thing.
Janine DeBean.
So that's what the story is, and then the film goes about answering that question for you.
And me, the Real Study movie voice guy.
I don't know if it's good or not, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try it.
Produced by Hyena. Let's go to the poster wall.
Hello and welcome to the Real Study. It is a full panel this evening as we start our month of nostalgia. We've got with us Black Girl Marvel, Janine DeBean, and then two special guests. We've got Mickey, the voice of the Real Study, Mickey C. W.K. Smith, and a surprise guest, that Will Wilkins. Always likes to jump on the panel when we got some of those great movies from the 80s and 90s, or just something amazing. But we are going to move over to the main wall before we talk about the movies tonight. We've got The Last Starfighter, Adventures in Babysitting, and Mortal Kombat coming soon. But Lala, you're going to tell us about some social media that people can look into to find more about us.
Bring it.
If you're here, or if you're watching this in playback or however you choose, maybe you're in the car, you're just chugging along, listening to us, make sure you follow us on everything so you don't miss a beat. That's on the TikToks and the Instagrams and the Blue Skies. And if you're doing the podcast, it's Apple, Google, Spotify, all the jams. Okay, we own all of those. And if you do decide to partake, go ahead, drop a comment, hit some stars, push us up that algorithm. We appreciate any and all support you can give us, like being here with us while we're live, watching us in playback. And if you want to become a real student today, go ahead, hop on over to the Discord. You can say, hey, I want y'all to watch all 2 seasons of Peacemaker, which somebody has already done on this panel.
I don't know who that is. Oh,
You
two
know?
people on the panel.
Come on. You can say that. You can say, hey, I want to watch All About Eve. We've done that too. So it's nothing for us to go in the past, go in the future, to watch these. So see, just like this. You see Peacemaker Wilkins
For
down
those
there.
that aren't seeing us but that are hearing us, Will Wilkins now put on his Peacemaker helmet. Which
Absolutely.
Peacemaker helmet is that? Which one what does that do?
Technically, I think it's modeled off of the Sonic
okay.
helmet.
Okay. Some
So,
cool helmets.
see, if
Peacemaker
you were
helmets.
on
Anyway.
YouTube with us right now, you'll be able to see him. But luckily for you, it'll be saved for your future viewing pleasure. Again, make sure you follow us all separately. Our names are listed here. You can follow us on all social media separately, and you can follow the Real Study as well on social media. Back to you, Mr. Smith.
I really appreciate that, La, and thank you for the wild humor in the middle there, Will Wilkins.
Sorry.
We really do appreciate
I
it.
did Peacemaker. I can do a dumb bit that only plays to part of the audience.
But that's okay. Now they have to come see us now that they've heard us. And also, if you're hearing us and you are in the car, as Law suggested, please put on your seatbelt. I know something you forgot. Please go ahead and do that now. We want you to be safe while listening to the Real Study. So we do have the Reel Roundup, and we have the news as usual, and then 2 movies we're going to get to, but we're going to try to get through this kind of quickly since we do have a large panel. So why don't we go straight into the news?
Now it's time for the real news.
All right, so we've got a huge announcement. Mummy 4 will be getting put together, and I know this is a huge Mummy panel. Like, everybody on this panel has a huge crush on the Mummy franchise. Like, we've done it here before. Like, we've gone through it in rounds, but I wanted to hear what you guys think because this is so big. I saw Janine smile. We're going to start there. Janine, how excited are you?
I'm very excited. I'm hoping this isn't kind of a cash grab thing, but considering
what Brendan kind of went through physically for this franchise, I would suspect that him coming back is for a good reason. So I am cautiously optimistic, but still very excited because I love those first two films. I never watched the third because it doesn't exist. So
Yeah, I'm with you. I watched it because of the show, and now I'm like, oh god, I shouldn't have watched it. I shouldn't have.
So my memory is not so good on my mumminess, of course, other than loving the movies. But was the I'm assuming the third one was Scorpion King.
So
No.
the Scorpion King was in the second one. Actually.
Second one,
So,
okay.
yeah,
I
the
haven't
third
seen
one
and
was
he got
actually
a spin-off movie. Yeah.
right. The third one was actually Jet Li was like the leader of an ancient
It's like the
Uh,
dragon,
clan.
Mummy
Yeah,
and or dragon.
dragon emperor or something.
Yeah.
and it's much more about the sun is a big factor. Like their sun is a big factor, and it's
Rachel Weisz didn't come back. It was Maria
like
Bello.
the tone falls off. Everything falls off pretty hard.
Oh,
And there's
so
Yetis,
I've missed nothing.
by the
That's
way,
good.
in it. As
Glad
well.
to hear that.
Yeah.
Missed absolutely nothing.
If you want bad digital Yetis, give that third movie a try. Anybody else have any thoughts on Mummy 4 other than potential excitement or caution?
Nope. Excited.
Just excited, all right. Mickey?
It's like, cautiously optimistic for sure. I don't know how to feel about it yet, but
Okay.
the franchise is back so much later. It could be great. I don't know, but I'll just wait for this
Yeah.
one.
And she's like, she read the script for the third and didn't like it and didn't come back. So
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
she would be
It's
very
with both of them.
thoughtful
Both of
in
them.
coming back for another
Yeah.
one because of
Exactly.
potential good script writing. So
The fact that they both signed on is probably why I'm just excited because I don't think either would sign on if they didn't feel it was something that they wanted to do or was good enough to do. Because that was her main reason for not really, well, one of the reasons
Right.
for not coming back for the third.
Awesome. All right. So we are potentially optimistic, cautiously optimistic about Mummy 4 or whatever they're going to call it. Because if they call it Mummy 4, I'm going to be kind of upset. That's not a
just
good
ignore the third one. Disclaimer.
Yeah, go Mummy 1, 2, and then if this is good, jump on.
Yeah.
More news. There are more movies going to be coming out. We've got Godzilla -0 officially announced by Toho. And considering Godzilla -1 is just phenomenal for a $15 million film, any Godzilla fans on the panel excited about this potentiality? Yeah. Okay.
Well,
All right.
especially after seeing Godzilla -1. I mean, that
Yeah.
was just. Wait, you're
Incredible.
telling me I'm going to get an emotional gut punch from a Godzilla movie? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Mickey, you see?
Yeah, I watched that twice in the theater. I loved it so much.
Mhm.
Oh, wow,
It's,
okay.
it's such a great movie that, I didn't expect out of a Godzilla film. I don't know how this is going to work. -0, is this like a prequel or sequel? I'm not sure what's going on, but
Well, it sounds like a prequel, but it would have to be between Godzilla and Godzilla -1, right?
Yeah.
Or it's a
Making sense.
continuation and it's all the monsters that we can think of because it's minus nobody now. Maybe the
That's-
other
Well,
one
I
was
don't think so
minusing.
because the way that
minusing
-1
the
plays
other
out,
one?
I don't think there's other critters in that universe. I think it's
not
literally
yet.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Did
It's a big
Janine or
universe.
Law, did you guys see Godzilla -1 as well?
Yes, I thought it was really good.
It was
'cause,
amazing.
I mean, the newest Godzilla films end up focusing too much on the human characters and they're not very interesting. So at least when we got focused on human characters, they were very captivating and emotional. So it balanced those things really well. So
I think they did it correctly in
Mhm.
-1. I think they did
Yes.
it correctly by making it about the humans, and Godzilla just happens to be there. Like, because before it's been like we're gonna focus on these humans that experiment on
Godzilla.
Godzilla, and
Yeah.
it's like
Split your attention with both
It's-
as opposed
it's
to
like
this.
I don't care about that. Like, give me a good story
So-
with some tragedy, but they give me a dope monster, and they did that in -1.
So when Godzilla 2014 was coming out and we saw the previews, I was like, oh, Bryan Cranston, okay, he's going to bring something to it that's going to like, I will get emotional about the humans and I'll care that Godzilla's stepping on their towns. And then they killed him like
Yep.
right away.
Immediately,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, well,
Yeah, they killed your care.
screw
They-
this. Like,
They
I
said,
don't
care
care
about
anymore.
yourself. That's what they told you.
Right.
See,
Yes.
And that's kind of where my worry about Mummy 4 comes in. That it's just a bait
Right.
and switch. But anyway.
Right. And you're not wrong. They could do that.
And this is also a great blueprint of like, modest budget and
Yeah.
being able to make a
Oh,
profit.
yeah.
And
Right.
so more movies need to take stock in how well this film looked, what it was able to do on a
Right.
way smaller budget because it was able to be very profitable.
To that point, Janine, if they do it again, then people are going to be like, wow, that's literally a model now. It's not just like a
Mhm.
one-off, because you can pull it off once, right?
Yeah.
But if they make a model
I mean,
out of
you
it and
would
they can
hope-
keep doing it,
You would
So-
hope they would make a model out of it, but we have a company like A24 that kind of does that, kind of takes
Right.
a decent budget.
Blumhouse does that
And
too.
right,
Yeah.
and people are still like blockbuster films, billions of dollars. And it's like, let's put all these actors in it and take down the quality of the film. But hey, we got the actors that people
Yes.
Right.
like, and
And
so
You're hearing headlines of a movie that made 6 figures, but it was still a box office bomb because
exactly
it was
because
insane.
right. So it's
Right.
like
you got to make $1 billion if you're paying $300
give me a
million.
little bit of both. Like, I'm not in the realm where I'm dealing with the money of it yet. Okay, future. But it's like, give me a little bit of both. Yes, put some money behind this so we can have things look nice and we can pay not only the actors, but we can pay everybody behind the scenes that helps out and does these things appropriately. But if you give me a great story, I could probably forgive
A lot
maybe
of
some lack in
A lot of
CGI or
stuff.
maybe some lack
Yeah.
in oops, this. But if you give me a great story, that can override everything. I'm not saying be lazy,
100%.
but I'm just saying just be conscious of where that money should go. You know what I mean? And what it should like lift up and what you should kind of just keep at a base. We can use models for this. We don't need CGI. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
we
no.
need CGI for this big thing over here.
And that's what they did with
You
this
know?
movie. That's what's so amazing about it is they
Absolutely.
were like, let's build everything around this like couple of sets, and they will just kind of move things around at different perspectives in order to make things cheaper. They kept like, okay, we'll make as many practical things that can be moving around as we can. Hey, actors, we're going to need you to also do things that wouldn't normally be done in order to kind of simulate like rocking around like they're on the boat. They had to like simulate that, but they like it was believable. So like it's
To me,
amazing.
that's
looking
classic acting though. That's like classic,
Right.
like that's what you go to school for. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're in class to learn how to do, to put your body in that motion. Because what if you are on an indie film and they don't have that budget, and it's just people on the side rocking the boat for you? You can't be like these little idiots. You have to immerse yourself in it. And I love when like that's why Pirates of the Caribbean, the first 3, no disrespect to the 4 and 5, but
No
that's why
disrespect to 4 and 5. I'm sorry.
that's why, because I stop at 3, because no thanks.
I stop at 1, but hey, that's just me.
I love the trilogy is just solid, but we'll get on that later. But, come on, Jenny. But like that, they did a lot of practical effects in that film. They did a lot of like the background might be very CG, but they were actually in water. They were actually on a boat. Like they were like all these things make a difference, and they saved a lot of money by CGI and other things, but then they made it very like grounded and real by having built, like they used that money in a smart way, and then they got it back like 100-fold. You know, in these films. So it's smart, folks.
Yes, like I'm thinking about
money.
I'm thinking about J.J. Abrams' Star Trek and like the scene where they're skydiving from the ship. It's literally them standing there and somebody just shaking a mirror
and they're just like
on the
like
roof
doing
of a
that.
parking garage at Paramount.
And it looks great.
But JJ is known for those fun tricks. Like he's kind of good at those little
I want
tricks.
people to stop being like lazy filmmakers. Like I'm not saying you can't use certain things to kind of facilitate and brush some things up, and but don't be a lazy like go back, like when Janine's like, we should watch this classic film, and we watch these classic films, we're like, well, how did they do that? How did they
like you
because
like
they had no
How did
toys.
they submerge a car underwater?
They had no toys.
Exactly.
Go back to, I need them to be in the mind frame of like, okay, I have a choice, but maybe I don't, and maybe I can make this a little bit budget friendly if I do it this way. Like I just think that adds a little heart to your film.
Yeah, that fun problem.
Watch Godzilla -1 and watch Good Boy and take notes. That's all I have to say. Like just you can do it at a low budget. So
I personally haven't gone any farther than the headlines on this one, but the one thing I will say is they definitely earned the right after seeing the first one. But what I'm really hoping with -0, and you guys are probably going to tell me, no, well, I'm going to educate you now. This is what we know. But I really hope it's somehow just like a parallel story that's happening.
Oh, okay.
still
upon
doing the same Godzilla, the same
Yeah,
attack
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, but it's almost as if we're
Like
also
maybe a different
revisiting one of
perspective.
exactly.
Yeah.
Much in
Yeah.
the same
That'd be
way
really
that we
cool.
never saw Marty from Back to the Future 2 around Marty from Back to the Future 1. You know, there could
Right.
be a different story happening at the same time.
Yeah, that's
Right.
right.
So, and
You
then
can
they'll
have
be
them
able
like
to
way off
tug
in the
on some
background where
nostalgia.
you'd notice it, right? Where you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's that other story over there.
You never know.
So, yeah, could be
Actually,
interesting.
I think that's a dope idea too, though.
Mhm.
Like,
All right, if it's
not
true,
mad
then Toho owes Will Wilkins some kind of.
I don't
royalty.
think
We
so
know
because
what that
they've
is,
already
but, yeah.
announced it, produced it, and all that
It's
jazz. So I think
probably
they're pretty
already
much.
written out. Yeah.
All I've done is figured them out. Son.
they're just going to sue him for putting the plot out before
Put it
they
out
have
too
it.
soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, that's pretty much
He'll get
it.
internet clout. He was the first one that thought of it.
Yeah.
Right here on the Real Study. You
Yeah.
remember that. There is more news as well. There are 2 more news items, and this
Right.
one I'm personally like ecstatic about, and there are people that are not. But Spielberg and Columbus are coming back to make Gremlins 3, released in 2027, and I'm not sure if everybody on the panel's seen both Gremlins. I hope.
Mhm. Yeah.
I have.
I have not seen the second one.
Hi, Scotty.
Many times.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to visit that because
Oh,
that
God,
is
I'm
a
old.
unique film in its own way.
I love.
Oh yes,
I
I'm aware
I-
of how kind
I
of crazy
recently
it
You're aware
is.
how
watched-
weird it is. Okay.
the first 2 Gremlins sometime this year. I don't know how it happened. Oh, I was watching a reaction video and they were watching
Oh,
Gremlins.
okay.
I was like, yes! And so I watched like one of my favorite channels watch the Gremlins, and I was just like, I forgot how amazing the first one was and how kooky the second one is.
Yeah.
But it's
But
still
it's all
good.
wonderful. Like
It's
I
still
don't-
good.
I don't
Like,
know,
no,
they're
it's
both
still
like
great.
this to me. I don't
And
know.
it's kooky
Yeah.
and it's kooky. Like to me,
Yeah.
the first one is very like it's lore heavy. It's very like this is it sets up the rules. It sets up the story very well. The second one does continue that, but it does go off. Like they're like we're a little bit more goofy.
It has a
little more
literal
silly.
fourth wall break.
It does. It does have a fourth wall break. So it's a little, but it's still. I don't know. It's maybe because it's still part of like my growing up. Like I still enjoyed it for for what it is. Plus, I just love the Gremlins and Gizmo is just
So cute.
Yeah.
Right?
I would have.
Now, that's my worry. There's my concern. There's my
Yeah.
personal concern.
I would have been
How
more
will
excited
Gizmo
about.
look? How will the Gremlins themselves look? And please don't digitize them. They were
Yes.
already puppets. Do not digitize these critters.
Yeah.
You'll ruin
I would
them.
like a mix of both. I would like them to still be like animatronic, but certain things add some CGI in it because unless you do practical things like you did in the first and the second one where like
Yeah.
they're in a race car that somebody's controlling but you think they're
Yeah.
driving, like stuff like that. Like I feel like you could still do that, but we live in an age now where you could probably just soften some things with a little
Sure,
CGI. I don't think
background.
they should. Right. I don't think they should
100%.
be.
I'm not
fully-
saying don't have CGI in the
Yeah,
film.
I don't think they should be
I
fully
just-
CGI though. I
yeah,
think they should still be like puppets.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
What if they
The
age?
first time the first time I saw Gremlins was in theaters. I was 7, and when the microwave scene happens and the gremlin explodes in the microwave, I had an accident in the theater and had to be
Oh, buddy.
removed.
Oh,
But I was 7 and I watched a gremlin explode, like, and I drank like a large, so like I
Oh,
don't know
no.
what they expected.
Oh man. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a bit much.
Yeah.
Distinct memory is hard to. So anyway, go ahead, Will.
I was just going to say that I would have been a lot more excited about this news if they had told me that the people behind Secrets of the Mogwai were also involved. If you guys aren't aware, there's a
They are
animated series
involved?
that's
Yeah.
No, are they?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that, and I would have been a lot more excited if it did. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, it's a original on HBO Max. It's a 2-series cartoon. So
Yeah,
and
it's the beginnings of the Mogwai.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
where Gizmo comes from.
yeah, I think
Aw.
I can't remember it, but I think the lead in Secrets of the Mogwai is actually becomes the grandfather that has
that's right.
Gizmo.
Okay.
And so anyway, so the first one is back in the homeland, and the second one I think is in San Francisco. So it's like an interesting little tale that's traveling along. Anyway, sorry. I got to mention the cartoon because it gave me the only opportunity I'll probably ever have in my life to interview Ming Na Wen. So you know,
There you
I'm
go.
That's
gonna
all.
extol the virtues of the cartoon every chance I get.
How was that interview? Was that a fun interview to do?
Well, I was suffering from imposter syndrome amazingly, and it was also around the time that Kevin Smith went into, as he describes it, the loony bin. So it was surreal in that I think again things related to Kevin Smith were a little more aware, so that's why I had the in. And then it was a wonderful conversation with Ming Na Wen. I had to first ask her if she is, going to become a part of every single sci-fi franchise.
I'm down.
Because you got Marvel, Star Wars, and the like, and of course I had to say, well, amazing folks, here comes the cavalry, because I had to show some love for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then at the end, she asked me to pass along that she hopes Kevin's doing well. To which point I got to then send that clip to Kevin, who was utterly confused at why Ming-Na Wen was sending a message through me. So. But that's the thing, kids. If anything, always take your shot. Always have the opportunity, or if you have the opportunity, always seize on it as much as you can, because you never know. It could be a fun story on a podcast later too.
Right. It's also an Eminem song, so
there you go.
That as well. Any other thoughts on Gremlins 3 before we move on to the final piece of news and the Reel Roundup?
No.
All right, we'll go to the next piece of news then. And we've got a Miss Piggy movie in the works. It's going to be produced by both J. Law and Emma Stone, or Emily Stone, however you want to say that. I'm a Muppets fan. Everybody should know that by now. This is awesome for me. I can't wait for an all Piggy lead.
Yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet.
Is it live action or is it actually Miss Piggy?
It'll be puppet. It'll be the Muppets, but Piggy.
Oh, okay.
Is the lead.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. I was like, are they got to immortalize some woman as Miss Piggy forever?
Motion
no, for sure. I mean, you can Shallow Hallett or something like that. I don't know, but I was.
Were you thinking Emma was gonna be Piggy, in the movie?
No, that's what I thought. I was like, please don't. But also,
no, I agree. That would be weird.
Please don't. But also, I was thinking if they were gonna go a human being, I would prefer a plus size white woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want them to kind of doll up a Jennifer Lawrence, Emily Stone type of person, But since we're keeping the Muppets, I'm down. I want to see what she has. Yeah. I want to see what this story is about.
Yeah. I'll take any Muppets, because Disney just doesn't seem to know what to do with the IP, because they can even hit a good formula like we got with the Muppets when Siegel brought them back, and then from there it's flip-flopped. So I'll take any Muppets I can get, because that's my childhood right there.
I am with Will on that one. Mm-hmm. And if Kermit's not in it, it would be weird, but I would accept that. Maybe it's a prequel, pre-Kermit.
I'm okay if Kermit's not in it. She seems very obsessed with him.
But if it's after they've met and he's not mentioned, that'll be a little weird to me.
I mean, he could be mentioned. I would prefer if he's not the focal point of her story, because he's the focal point of everything she's in. When we were kids, that's probably why I'm a man obsessed, because Miss Piggy, that's
why I liked the new one with Jason Segel, because she had left and she was her own woman. She was basically running a Vogue company, she was doing her thing. Because and it was but we need you for this one thing.
Because it's giving Arnold and Helga. It's you don't like you. I'm forced to like you now because you seem to be the only person that gives me attention. Because that's what it feels like. Because she's pretty much attention that the hell out of this man, to the point where he was just all right, I guess she likes me, so.
I guess I'm stuck here. Yeah.
Me and Miss Piggy. Type of thing. So I'm just all right.
Fair enough. Any other thoughts on a Miss Piggy movie?
They're not dating anymore. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's the movie. They're breaking up.
Ooh, they broke up. Ooh.
I'm here.
What's she gonna do with the tadpoles now, though? That's
I'm telling you right now, they're just gonna take the Barbie movie script and then flip it with
Piggy in it. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate it. Wait, Piggy in the real world. Wait, that's already the case. They're the only characters that live in our world.
What if she's not in the real world anymore? What if they revert it back where she sees where she goes?
Where she's in a fantasy.
And that's how you could backdoor into a live action by her coming to.
That would be weird, but who would play?
Yo, Jennifer Lawrence, Emily Stone, hit me up.
Lala, you're saying you would play Piggy?
I will play Piggy, but it'll be a whole thing where they're is a black woman Piggy's white? It'll be a whole thing. So I just.
But wait, is Piggy white, or is she just light
skin? I think she's light
colored. She's.
I think she's light skin. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. Because Kermit's green. He's a frog. He's green like
Yeah.
a like.
But
you
we
look at all
all
the Muppets,
know,
they're-
most
Yeah. Oh,
green.
yeah.
Oh, you're wrong. You're not wrong at all. Like you're 100%.
Most
There would be so
People
much.
will
Like,
assign a whiteness
Yeah.
to Miss Piggy.
No, absolutely. Just like
They
they'll
will.
assign probably a blackness to Kermit because any colored like character is like they'd be like that's a black character. Like
that's an interesting thought.
like,
That's an interesting thought.
that's a minority character. 'Cause they're
I mean, we are talking about a massive population that believes that a guy in like Bethlehem and such
Baby,
would
come
be a
on.
white guy with brown hair.
Will the Bean. Come on, Will the Bean speaking that truth. Okay,
Right.
yeah.
All right. We have a few movies other people that we've all watched, or TV shows in this case, actually. So I'm actually going to start with Keys, with Mickey. You have been watching, well, you and Will have been watching Welcome to Derry, which is the
Yes.
continuation of the It saga, but a prequel to
Yes.
the It movies. Tell us what you think about Welcome to Derry.
Beautiful so far, right? Like, it's just awesome characters, well-written characters, and they're building this foundation that we kind of vaguely already know about the It films, but we're solidifying it and we're tying in all the other Stephen King things like The Shining, and there's all these other Easter eggs. We're getting a lot more about the lore and the history of what makes Pennywise powerful and like what keeps him kind of grounded there in Derry. And they really take it to another level with like the gore and the horror in the TV show, which is surprising to me. Just a lot of shocking moments, and I don't get shocked very easily. So me dropping my mouth and going, "What did I just watch?" is kind of like, that's kind of a big deal, a little bit. I don't want to spoil anything, but just the first episode, by the end of it, you are just like, I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the season, but I'm in, right? And then I also thought, after an episode like that, it's got to mellow out in the second episode, right? Oh man, like we're gonna ramp it up even more. We're gonna like just freak you out. You know what I mean? We're gonna take these fears of these, that Pennywise feeds on, and we're gonna make them intense and graphic. So yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's gonna be real. I think the story is gonna go along really well if they stick the way they're going. They tag a lot of stuff in the books. They pull a lot of that source material. So yeah, I'm excited. It's good.
Okay, you're making me want to watch it, and I
Yeah.
I was still thinking about it, but I hadn't committed yet. But Will, what did you think?
I completely concur. Going into this and going into a prequel, we don't really have good feelings just naturally because this happened before it. So it is still there later on down the timeline. But I will say that as a fan of horror to some degree, I really love everything that they're doing with it. It's very well written. They take any of your preconceptions and they will use them to your disadvantage.
Yes.
And I absolutely adore the fact that they also now are taking advantage of the fact that they are producing this in a streaming world where they're not constrained by the same rating systems.
Right.
And they are taking advantage of it. There is a lot in this show that makes me extremely uncomfortable. And I'm here for it.
That's intriguing.
Now, I do have a question. I have a question about that
Very
because there's a lot of people that are hesitant because this is dealing with kids, much like the original films did.
Yeah.
The second film is about the adults, but is it like, are there moments where like kids are really in harm's way? And
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I meant to say
Yes.
there should come a trigger warning with this
Me
show
too.
because like there's
Okay.
like I said, things happen and you're like, I don't remember them going that far in the movie when kids died.
And they
You know what
go
I'm saying?
pretty far in the movie. So
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
They didn't, like in the movies. Just think about how, if hopefully you've seen the first of the two It movies that were made recently, because the scene of Georgie crawling away one armless from the sewer kind of set the expectation. And I would say this show does it too. Yes, look, children are going to get harmed. That's part of the story. This is
Okay.
Oh, I really
This
gotta
is
watch
one of
it.
Children were harmed during
this.
this
Well, I mean, not production, hopefully,
in
but
the film.
Yeah.
No.
But yes, as a parent, it makes you uncomfortable. But you just
Okay.
have to know you're going into this, so you have to set that part aside and remember these are actors; they're paid to do
I
this.
know.
They're
It's
all
hard,
safe,
though, for
so
some
just
people.
And
enjoy
it's
the
the magic
story.
of editing and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
No, I know.
Oh,
But there are some folks, like, I mean, especially, things are
bet
not
it's edited
mentally
beautifully.
stable for everyone right now, and so taking those,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's-
Just warning
I-
people.
I think
all
it
I
does
wanted.
come with pre-warnings ahead of time,
Oh, yeah.
disclaimers,
It's pretty dark.
yeah, they.
Excuse me.
I think Mickey would agree. They put it all on the field.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling
season
that's a pun. I have a feeling that's a pun.
Season 2 had one of those moments that I just can't remember in a horror movie in a long time that just had me go, "Oh my lord!" Like I don't know if I can do this. So yeah.
Well, Mickey, I think you have a pretty strong stomach, so now I'm
Yeah,
getting
I
kind
watched
of
it.
worried. Okay.
But it's fun.
It's,
It's still fun.
it's a
It was
lot.
like I still had fun watching that.
All right. I will keep that in mind. Lava, you got to now I didn't even ask, was this your first time watching Coach Carter?
No, not at all.
Which number time is this?
I don't know. It's like one hand. I would say like 4 or 5. Something
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Because I've seen it
Yeah,
just
I've
the
seen
one
it.
time, but
Yeah, I've seen it.
you saw this again. Tell us what you think about it now.
For those that don't know, Coach Carter is like a true story based on Ken Carter, who was a former like basketball star at his his high school, who his coach asked him to come back and coach at his school because he has like an unruly group of young men now. Plus, the coach is like, I'm just tired and like I ain't got time to like battle the teachers and the students and the board. Like I can't do this anymore, but I think you can make a difference. And it came out in 2005, and I was like in my senior year of high school, 2005, and watching this during that time was pretty awesome. But then like watching it now, like as an adult, was even better because it's way better than I remember it being when I was like a kid. I just think it's a really good film. One, it's a standout in the filmography of Samuel L. Jackson to me, because I think a lot of people enjoy Samuel L. Jackson, and I think they enjoy his films because they enjoy him as a persona when he's out doing like interviews and things like that. But I feel like nobody really focuses on his acting. They focus on how many times he curses when he acts, and I think that overshadows. Right, or like the weird movie that he's in at this time. Like, is a girl chained to a radiator? Is it snakes on a plane? Like, people are just like very like kind of. But like, I think this film is like shows you how amazing of an actor he is. Like, because it's more grounded, it's less. It's funny, but it's less comical in nature. He does like even in his like action films, it's still comedy somewhere in there. Like it's still like funny or goofy or aloof, like type of things. And this one felt very grounded, very like an actor's type of. This is
one of his
film.
more serious films.
Yeah,
you're totally right.
And so I feel like this one kind of gets overlooked because not only is it a great story, but it also just sheds light on like a neighborhood and the statistics that like young black men or just like young men of color as well can just get into. And this film is about another black man who escaped this life and is trying to help other kids escape this life through basketball, but also through being a good person, being a good man, and going to school and doing what you're supposed to do, and giving people respect that is due. And it's just, I felt like rewatching it, I was like, yo, this is a solid film. And it also stands out to me because my mom loves this film, and she loves the speech that I can't remember that kid's name, but he's been in like Arrow and all these other kind of TV shows and movies. But he is like Samuel L. Jackson's character asks throughout the film, like, what is your greatest fear? What is your greatest fear? And nobody knows what he's talking about. And it's like towards the end, this one kid that's been a problem is like, our greatest fear is that we're not inadequate. Like he does the whole poem that it comes from, and it's such a like real emotional thing that like for Christmas, I think for my Christmas or my mom's birthday one year, I like printed that out real nice and framed it for her, and she was like very touched and moved by it and everything because she loved that speech. And it's such a great speech because it's just like a way of telling somebody like, listen, you're not worthless, you're not inadequate, you are who you choose to be, you have the power to be who you want, and you shouldn't let anybody stop that. And it's such a great film, and I implore everybody to go watch it because I feel like not only does Samuel Jackson have some funny moments, but he's so intense in such a great way. You can feel like his intensity come off the screen. It's just such a great Samuel Jackson vehicle. And yeah, go watch it. And there's a young Channing Tatum in there that entices everybody.
This is even before. Isn't this before Step Up even?
This is like right before. I think like after this movie came out, I think Step Up came out like a year or two afterwards.
So it's a
So, like,
scrawny Channing Tatum, is what you're saying.
Lean.
I mean, there you go.
Lean,
Lean.
okay,
Come on, let's say
yeah.
lean.
He's slim. He's slim.
Even though you can tell
He's
that, like,
not all bulked up like he was in Magic Mike.
no, but you can tell that he I was like, he looked kind of grown in this, but he is a senior. He's playing like a senior in high school. So I was like, okay, that makes sense.
And
Compared
we're
to,
going to
like,
get to adults
other-
playing teenagers in a little bit. We will get right into that. Janine Devine, you got to see a movie that Brian talked about a few weeks ago, which was Roof Man. Tell us what you thought
Yes,
about that.
also Channing Tatum. I wanted to catch this. It was about to leave theaters. Literally, this was the last day I could see it in the theater, so I rushed to the theater to go see it. And yeah, it's based on a true story. I ended up really enjoying it. I loved kind of how grounded it felt. I mean, based on a true story set in the 90s, but like the locations of like an apartment complex and a strip mall feels like places I drive by every day. The fact that there wasn't a ton of like makeup on the actors and they just looked very natural, all just kind of felt like you were watching something real as opposed to kind of a studio movie, like the locations and everything. A lot of it is set in the Toys R Us, so that was kind of a fun nostalgic thing to kind of see the fashion and the locations and all of that. But generally, I think it's a really great telling of this true story of this guy who has all of this experience in kind of a military aspect of being able to focus on all the tiny things that people don't see. But once he has left the military now, he doesn't know what to do with that. So in order to provide for his family, he falls into this lifestyle of robbing places and going in through the roof, hence why he's called the Roof Man. And because he is so tactically proficient in kind of knowing all of these little details that people don't really look at, he's gotten away with it for quite a long time. So I loved that they really set up this guy's story in terms of like us being able to empathize with him as to like why he ends up falling into this lifestyle. And, you know, I loved getting to see the kind of true story connection of the fact that like people who he robbed and things said he was really kind and nice to them. And we get to kind of see little clips of those people actually being interviewed in real life. You know, he would lock people in the freezer, but make sure they had a coat, things like that. So a good guy who kind of just fell into a bad way because he didn't really have anything else. So I think it's really well paced in telling that story and really having us kind of care about this guy despite him doing bad things and him just kind of being a victim of circumstances more than kind of judging him for his choices. And yeah, like Channing Tatum gives a really emotional performance. I've been really kind of impressed with his growth as an actor. And I think he's really great here, especially kind of against a kind of veteran in Kirsten Dunst. So yeah, I really enjoyed Roof Man. I'm glad I took the chance to see it before it was finally gone from theaters and not having to wait to see it at home. So
that's awesome. Is there a Jeffrey Giraffe somewhere in the movie? Like I gotta know.
I don't remember seeing one, but
okay.
Yes.
Hopefully someone in the background. I'll look for it when I watch it.
Had I been after the two guys, I would have thrown an obnoxious factoid out there because I'm just obnoxious like that. But Welcome to Derry actually has a connection to the movie we're going to be talking in a little bit because the first episode heavily focuses on the Music Man. And the actor who plays Centauri was the star of the Music Man musical. So
nice.
Very true.
All right. There is one final movie on the Reel Roundup, and that is the 2025 Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro, starring Oscar Isaac, which I got to watch this weekend. And of course, anybody who has Netflix can go ahead and watch this now. I know it got like a limited theater release. This movie is kind of contentious right now. There's the two camps. Everybody's like, either they liked it a lot or they're like, what the hell was this? I'm weirdly in the middle because I love the aesthetic. I love the acting. I love the set design. It's beautiful. It's Del Toro, so you can expect all of that is great. Creature design is fantastic. The elements that lead to the creation of the monster are also fantastic. Where I get a little thrown is that it's really long. It's 2.5 hours, which is fine, except that it's 2.5 hours of slow-paced gothic material, and it gets to a point where you're like, do they really need to focus on another character now? Like, and it becomes this thing. But it really is broken into two parts. It's about Victor Frankenstein, and then it's about the monster. And you get those kind of bumped up against each other. So it's a true, authentic telling of the main story of Frankenstein from the novel, with elements thrown in from each film to like show, kind of paying homage, but also Del Toro making it his own. So it's kind of a little bit of a mess because of that. There's a lot happening, but I still think it's great. It's going to take a couple of viewings, I think, before I'm going to settle on where I really feel about it. But I still think everybody should give it a watch and
It's on
decide.
the list, man. It's on the list.
Aesthetically gorgeous.
Yeah,
What were you
it's on the
saying,
list. It's on the list. Don't even worry, man. It's already on the list.
And I know it is for everybody, but I know there's been a lot of like questions about why did they go this direction, and it's really he's trying to tell the story that it was originally supposed to be told, but putting his own twist on it. So he's changed a few characters a little bit, and he's kind of taken liberties in places. But I think that freshens it up.
But let's have fun, though. How many Frankenstein movies or TV shows or whatever we got? Like, let's shake it up.
You don't have to see perfect. But then, like, I watched Arlie was talking about how he was like, they're using lightning again, and that's never in the book. And that's true. They don't even describe how the monster's made in the book. They don't really go into the details. Mary Shelley was more talking about humans. And, like, I imagine in the late 1800s, doctors cutting on people was kind of like still raw and gross, and so it would bring up a lot of these. It was a modern topic at the time, so I feel like he's trying to embody that but also make it his own, which is what Del Toro does.
Right.
My biggest complaint is there's a lot of camera movement that didn't need to be there. That was weird to me. Like, he's literally like, these two people are talking, move the camera, and I'm like, or don't. Sometimes maybe like literally every shot just okay calm down.
Stylistic choice, sir. No,
I understand, but sometimes I don't know, it was almost a little amateurish to see it so much. I was like, this is something somebody that doesn't know what they're doing would do in order to look like they know what they're doing,
or they're supposed to know what they're doing and they're trying to be controversial.
Yeah,
there's that as well. I mean, just screw it, I'm doing
gets people talking. It gets people talking.
But yeah, I don't think anybody should avoid this movie. I think everybody should give this a shot and think original, think the Robert De Niro one, and then shove them together and put Del Toro's flavor on it.
Good.
If that helps. It's not like I'm going to ruin the story. You guys all know, like, ultimately what happens.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, there's a monster, and he tries to kill his mate.
What? Why would you tell me this?
There you go.
What?
If you don't know the story about Frank, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go there. All right, so that's the Reel Roundup. We are going to talk about the two movies for the evening, and they are nostalgic films. We are going to be doing basically 80s and 90s movies for this month. I can't think of one that's outside of that. Law, you hadn't solidified your second pick?
I did. Where you been?
Tarzan and...
Where you been? To the jungles.
Where you been? We going into the Jungle Book. We going to live action Jungle Book, baby.
Okay, so, but that's also the 90s. So it's two
90s
movies.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got Janine with Adventures of Baron Munchausen next week, as well as Mortal Kombat. Yes, this is the 95 version.
Classic.
Awesome. And then for the final week, we're going to do Explorers, starring River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke. Apparently Ethan Hawke has bad memories of that movie. We'll try to make him feel better about that. And then Pump Up the Volume, which like nobody's ever heard of, but it's one of
bullshit. Nobody's heard of Pump Up the Volume.
Most people have not heard
Happy
of that
Harry
movie.
with a heart on. I am here. I'm so much older than everyone here. God damn. Anyway,
I don't think you are. I think you and I are like right.
Let's just roll with the joke, man.
I mean, you're
That's
not
fair.
that.
That's fair.
Like, you act like you 1,000 years old, sir.
I recently had a situation where somebody introduced me as an esteemed elder of the podcasting world. And I'm like, I'm like, that is the most backhanded comment that I think compliment that anyone could specifically tell.
How old were they?
It's like you grew a gray beard the moment.
Same age as me. Elder statesman of podcasting. That's right.
Oh.
Wow.
Listen, you be acting like one, so I'm sorry. Because you over here like, I'm so much older than everybody on this. It's like, sir, you're not wasting away. You're not crumbling into ash right in front of our eyes. You're fine.
But as they say, fat don't crack. No, they don't say that.
Oh,
but
man.
I am now.
Yeah. Here, let me start using that.
He's acting like he's got osteoporosis or something.
But yeah, I have heard to pump up the volume. How dare you?
Fair. Has anybody else on the panel heard of Pump Up the Volume?
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Heard of it?
I'm mildly aware.
Mickey?
Let me make Will Wilkins. Let me make Will Wilkins older. That movie came out in 1990. I was 4, so no, I didn't hear about Pump Up the Volume.
That's okay. I have a friend that constantly reminds me they were 1 year old when I got married. I'm like, God,
Oh,
thanks.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's young.
Well, but I've been married
That's
for
young.
31 years, so yeah, there's like at least 2 lives that could have started within that period.
I was 7 when you got
Couple
married.
graduations in there, maybe.
Congratulations. I was 7.
Oh no, I wasn't fishing, but yeah. Anyway, let's get to the movies, man.
You got it. We will talk Pump Up the Volume, and it sounds like we need to have Will Wilkins on for that one. So we
Awesome.
can
That's hilarious.
So the first movie was released in 1984. This is The Last Starfighter. This was at the heyday of like everybody trying to make a Star Wars movie. Like everybody tried.
Yeah.
And the director of this movie, Nick Castle, actually talked about how he tried to avoid anything Star Wars in order to make this. And I think that's a little obvious. But before we get into anything about the movie, Janine has some awesome facts about the
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, both of our films actually have a fun Halloween connection, as of course Nick Castle, who directed The Last Starfighter, was Michael Myers. And Adventures in Babysitting was produced by Deborah Hill, who produced Halloween. This film also stars Daniel Hurley and Al Berry, who were both in Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and Lance Guest, who was in Halloween 2. So that's kind of a fun little thing there. Yeah, as I mentioned, Robert Preston, who plays Centauri, this was his last role before he passed away. And he plays the swindler character very well because he played the music man who was a swindler character. A lot of people actually loved the beta unit version of Alex, so they ended up doing reshoots. And Lance Guest was miserable during these reshoots because he had already cut his hair, so he had to wear a wig for most of that. He was also ill, so all the kind of prosthetics and things he had to wear would just made him completely miserable. So while the beta unit scenes were great for fans and it was the great comic relief of the movie, Lance was very miserable having to do those reshoots.
Poor guy.
The screenwriter, Jonathan R. Betul, he came up with the story for this movie because he was walking through an arcade and he saw this kid like really into this video game. He was like sweating and really into it. So he started thinking about what if this was real? Like he's putting a lot of effort into this. He was also at the same time reading the novel, The Once and Future King, the King Arthur book. So he kind of combined those two ideas for this script.
I can see that. Yeah.
This film was supposed to be the feature film debut of Will Wheaton, but all his scenes and lines were cut, so you could kind of just spot him.
Oh, poor guy. I know that hurt. I bet he told everybody he's supposed to be in this movie.
Exactly. So of course, later he would get Stand By Me, and that would be his kind of shooting star there. Of course, I'm sure we'll talk about it as we discuss this film. This was the first film to ditch miniatures and use full CGI dogfights. And lastly, James Cameron was originally tapped to direct this film, but scheduling conflicts prohibited that. So.
Was it Terminator that got in the way? It seems like it might have been.
I think this was after Terminator, so he was looking for another kind of sci-fi thing to do, but it just didn't work out.
Well, but also like 84, then he could have also been, I don't want to say pre-production, but that could be around the time that he's starting to mess with aliens.
Yeah.
But that would be 84, which wouldn't really impact. Never mind.
Well, this would have been made in 83. Like,
exactly.
In 82, 83.
That's what my dumb mouth just realized while I was speaking.
I always, that's something that's always, people are always like, that movie came out. I'm like, yeah, it came out then. If you
about, but like, it was probably made a year, even 2 years prior.
You get weird movies like Trick or Treat that sit for 3 years, or even Cabin in the Woods, which was held back for 3 years. For no reason other than like distributing hell. And then people are like, wow, why does Chris Hemsworth look young in this movie? Because it was 3 years ago.
I mean, I would like to point out that Nick Castle also directed Major Payne, and it's one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
so I was like,
he's got a career. He's got a very
I was like, have I seen anything else he's directed? Because I like to do that with directors. I don't know their names off bat. So I was like, oh, Major Payne, nice. I was like, okay, I've seen you. You've been with me through my childhood. It's nice.
So, Lala, I gotta make this assumption: are you the only person on the panel that I know that Mickey's seen it, and I know that Will has seen it? There's not even a question in my mind. And Janine, I'm almost certain you've seen it. But Lala, was this your first Last Starfighter?
Yeah, I ain't never seen it before.
I thought I hadn't seen it, and then I started watching it, and then I was like, oh yeah,
I've seen it.
Because like I think during my Schmodown days, I was on this kick of like catching up and checking off boxes of like 80s sci-fi movies. So I think I ended up watching this one, Real Genius, and Tron for the first time like years ago. But I had completely forgot I watched this one, and so as soon as I saw the trailer park, I was like, I have seen this. So yeah.
Apparently Brian is watching us. Hello, Brian, at home. I know
Stalker.
you're here on the panel, but apparently two guys
stole your seat
for you. Two people to fill.
Yeah. Big shoes to fill.
Be aware of that.
He's working. Like, I'm here. He's just working.
Just tell us what you think, or if you hate our opinions, because we were talking about your movies. Lala, I'm gonna let you go first.
Alrighty.
Tell us what you think of The Last Starfighter.
Okay.
And tread lightly. This is a very beloved.
I'm not. I'm gonna tread so hard. I'm gonna tread so hard.
Be real.
Go
all over it.
Go for
you
it.
feel me? I'm about to gallop over this movie. So for those that don't know, I like to just kind of want to start doing this now. Whoever goes first, kind of give a description of the movie. Nobody hasn't seen it. But the Last Starfighter, from what I understand, is a film about this young boy named Alex who just wants to get out of his trailer park, and he gets out in a big way by getting tapped to be the Last Starfighter in a galaxy far, far away. And I say that because this was giving me like Star Wars vibes, but not like really. So like that, I think that's the good thing about it. Like it wasn't. I can see the inspiration from Star Wars, but it wasn't giving me full Star Wars. So I was like, that's fine. I found this film very funny. The moment I watched it, I saw a scene. I think the Alex character was standing, like his mom gave him the letter that he didn't get like the scholarship, like he didn't get the loan, and then he walks out and he throws it at the sign, like so he's in front of like the trailer park, on the outside, like on the outskirts of it, on the front, and then it's like this beautiful like background of like the stars, it looks very Star Wars scrolls, but it's like it looks great. And the moment I saw that, I was like, I know why Brian likes this film. Like, I know it's his childhood, but this probably was like the most beautiful thing he's seen at his age. At that time, it was like, oh my God. So, at the time. But I thought it was a really fun film. I do like that, like they had a language in this, and I believe it's like Rylos or the Legion. The Rylan Legion or whatever. Like, I love that they had like a language, but they had to use a translator. I was like, because I was really getting tired of the language, honestly. I was like, we got to start talking English somewhere. I was like, either. You could
tell what they were saying. Eventually, you started to figure out. They were like, come here.
No, for sure. But I was like, I'm tired of it. And I was like, I need them to either implant something in his brain, or I need them to give him some type of translator. And they did that. I think it was cool that they put it on his clothes, like, because usually nowadays we see it like, you get shot in the neck with something, or they put some type of patch on you or something.
In the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they stick a fish in your ear. So,
hey, listen, my thing is, I love that it was a lot of practicality around this film. I love that, like, the prosthetics, the makeup. It's something about always seeing like the pink of people's eyes that makes me laugh from the makeup, because like if this was like now, they probably would have CGI'd that to make it more like realistic, but it's just something about it not being, it just made me feel very like, this is nice. Like, I can't really explain it. It was just very nice to see that. I love the connections that Alex kind of makes. He's very important to his neighborhood. Like, he's very important to like the trailer home, which can also be like I felt for this guy, like, from the beginning, because as a person who, like, I mean, I didn't grow up in a trailer park, but I am living in a place, in a state that I no longer want to be in, that I'm trying to escape from. And it's very hard to do that when you don't get the loan, or you don't get the scholarship, or you don't have the money to kind of go out. So I really felt for the character in that. So that already kind of like connected me to the film. So I was excited to see like how he grows and how he moves throughout this film. And I feel like it's very realistic. If I just played a video game and then all of a sudden some dude was like, come on in this car real quick, I want to show you something. One, I would have never got in.
Well, the machine was shaking and glowing and saying, "You've been recruited."
You know, it's just one of those things where they were like, hey, kid, like, it's like, don't get into the van that has candy. You know what I mean? And I felt like he got into the van that had candy, or like, you know,
You're not wrong.
I was just like, sir, but also we wouldn't have a movie. But I was just like, what are we doing? This person is whispering to you in the darkness and asking you about you, essentially. They don't know. I would have been like, that's Alex. I can go get him. And I would have never came back. Like, I just
So, Law, this begs the question. Obviously, you wouldn't have got in the car, but if they got you in the car, would you have gotten out?
I think I would have tried. I think I would have tried to get out. Like, he didn't even try to get out. He was just
I meant once they got to Rylon, would you have, like, they opened the door and there's somebody just gibberish at you?
Honestly, I think in that moment, the moment that the car flew, I think I would have been cooked. I'd have been like, you know what? I guess I'm here. I guess I'm gonna have to deal with whatever. I'm gonna have to deal with when I'm here. But also, I would have been more like Lewis's character and been like, we're getting invaded. Like, I would have been super excited once I got there to know that, like, this game that I played is real. This world is real, and they tapped me to be somebody when I feel like nobody. So I think, like, eventually when he came around, I was like, I get why he came around. I get the droll of, like, I want to go back home and I don't know what this is. I don't know, because I looked at it like a parallel between him and Maggie, where, like, she kept using her granny as an excuse, you know, and he just kept using his, like, life as an excuse type of thing. Like, I understand it, like, things can stop you, but you don't stop yourself. Like, you have another opportunity. It's a weird opportunity. It's an out of this world, literally, opportunity, but you have an opportunity to do something, to be something, and you're kind of, like, running away from, like, a destiny. Like, who plays a game, becomes the record breaker, and then somebody taps you to...
People don't want to go to war, but they'll play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So...
Very true. No, very true. Very true. And I understand that once he was in it, you know, but it's like, I felt like it's one of those tropey things where it's like, you know, you don't feel worthless. Somebody tells you you're worth it, and you're like, you know, maybe I am, you know. But I like that. I like when 90s movies, I like 90s movies for that reason. It gives you hope. It pushes you forward. And I think this movie did that a lot. And I thoroughly enjoyed, like, the practicality of, like, the spaceship and the moving, the way he was, like, moving backwards to shoot and up and down. I thought that was really cool. Like, nowadays you just see them stagnant in the seat. I was like, this feels very free and fun. Yeah. Right, and the camera's, like, going with them, and he's like, but it shows how smart and adept he is. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I thought it was pretty cool.
All right.
And it's one of the first CGI-ish films, so I thought that was, like, pretty cool.
It was the first one they did, like, full blown at this level.
And I think that was pretty cool. Like, it's gonna have that, like, 80s
and video
game feel too, absolutely.
Like game,
but it felt like, as a person who plays video games, I was like, shoot him, kill him. Like, I was in it with them. So,
nice. Janine, you had thought you hadn't seen this, but watched it and went, wait a minute, I've seen this before.
Yes.
Tell us what you think.
This film was, like, such an easy watch. It was so breezy feeling. I think there's some really great tracking shots and framing, like Law mentioned the scene with the stars. Also just kind of that whole tracking shot through the trailer park. It really, you know, shows the lives of these people intertwining. So when they're getting all hype over him winning this video game, that was so funny to me. Like, why is everyone excited about this? But because they established this kind of really great connection between this community, you believe it, and you're over there cheering along with them for this guy. And even at the end, when, like, they're just like, spaceship, cool, see you later. Like,
but it was like, when he got off, they were like, oh, Alex is on the spaceship, cool. It's cool.
It's cool now.
We all right.
Yeah, they were so chill with this thing happening. You believe it because they took that time to really establish how much this community cares about him and how kind of supportive they are and everything. And I love that aspect with him, with Alex and Maggie, in the fact that, they do kind of have this bigger kind of idea of wanting to leave and do more, but there is that kind of fear there, particularly with Maggie, you know, having that just comfortability with something and not, being scared to take that chance and take that leap. So I liked having that little kind of deeper layer, considering kind of how fast the film moves.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I still was able to kind of, they did a good job of getting that kind of theme with her and Alex across. I loved all the interactions with the beta unit and the little brother.
Yeah.
Tell mom about your Playboys.
Yes, I'm glad that they added more scenes with the beta unit, because that was a lot of great comedy there with that. I love the relationship that he forges with Centauri, who kind of is playing this kind of swindler, but ultimately it's kind of like the swindler with a heart of gold kind of thing. So I like that they didn't wholly make him kind of this antagonist character.
No, he's Han Solo for Last Starfighter.
Exactly, and I love kind of the bond and the kind of the silly relationship he has with Greg as well. That's a lot of fun. And yeah, again, with like the tracking shot stuff, I love that, even when we're on the ship and things, there's a lot of great, that we start in one spot and then it kind of pans around the whole area, so we kind of get a feel for the location, so we really know where we are. Because I think that's an important thing that a lot of movies don't do. They don't really kind of settle us into where we're going to be kind of living in a film. I kind of had maybe 2 little issues with it. Just the fact that I feel like the space conflict could have been a little more complex. It was kind of a little too simple. And then also, I get kind of the thing with Alex and his fears of leaving, but I felt like it was too many times of back and forth wishy-washy with, okay, I'm going to do this. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm not. So I think they did that a little too many times. They played that card of him kind of back and forth a little too much. But other than that, I had a ton of fun with this movie. I love the pacing of it. It was very simple, straightforward, just a really fun, cozy, comfortable, breezy watch.
Yeah. I like it. Now, we've got a couple of veteran Last Starfighter fans here. And so I would love to hear from you guys about rewatching it, or what your fond memories if you didn't rewatch it because you've seen it 1,000 times. Why don't we start with Will Wilkins? What do you think about Last Starfighter?
It's good.
Not bad.
All right, so Mickey, please, Will.
Sorry,
what do you got?
Pre-game joke that I talk too much. Look, I saw this movie approximately when I was 13, so I was the target audience for it when it came out, and it was a wonderful movie that also, thankfully, was very repeatable, because I saw it in this theater at least maybe 4 or 5 times, because I was a kid during the summers that would be bored, or during the weekends that would be bored, and I would talk my mom into dropping me off at the theater. I would buy 1 ticket and then I would theater hop, which is amazing that I was able to pull off in a 4-theater multiplex that just had 1 core lobby and hallways to the theaters.
Me and Will have the same skill set. That's
So, or I would just camp out in the same movie, like what I did with Raiders of the Lost Ark. The whole point is I saw it a lot, and at the time it was absolutely wonderful and mesmerizing, and it was everything that you want to think of, which is being plucked out of obscurity and becoming something revered. So it has that aspect. I love the story and the play on, the Excalibur test, it being this thing that is very King Arthurian, but also I love that this movie for a lot of people is it's part of their core DNA, so much so that this movie is referenced in other entertainment. I think the concept of The Last Starfighter is part of what they made Future Man out of, because it was once again a video game. Guy does really great, and now you've got to save everything. So that story part was wonderful. Robert Preston revisiting basically his character from The Music Man was something that I was completely unaware of at the time, but since I think with this movie my dad actually took me to it the first time I saw it, absolutely delighted him. So it was a great way to make it kind of multi-generational with the older actors that were in the movie. And it was really, the funny thing is, it was filled with a lot of it people at the time, with Lance Guest and who played Maggie? Catherine, is it Catherine something? Can't remember her name. She was also in
Catherine Mary Stewart.
Catherine Mary
Thank you.
Stewart.
She was in Night of the Comet, so
right?
And many other things. So she was like kind of a teen movie girl at the time too. And the The only complaint I ever had about this movie is I don't understand how you could have the Frontier, or said another way, as Spock in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. His attack seems to be rooted in two-dimensional thinking. So it's like it's space. It has all directions. How do you have a frontier? But other than that, I mean, even right down to it. Of the three panelists who were well versed in this movie, I have to ask, or the two other ones on the third one, of course, I have to ask, the moment in Superman when he is bringing down all of the soldiers who Planet Watch, as he's bringing down all the Planet Watch guys, what did y'all think that was called in your head?
I think instead of a number, it was the DB.
Death Blossom.
Right?
It was the Death Blossom.
Yeah.
So
100%.
even that is just it shows that even silly movies can have a big impact to those that later create media. So it was a wonderful experience, and I'm just bummed I ran out of time to be able to do a rewatch it beforehand. But when I saw the lineup, that's why I had to crash this one. I'm like, you guys are like straight out of my teens on this one.
100%. Mickey, remind me when you're done. I have a theory on why The Last Starfighter made episode 1 for Star Wars, but let's hear what you think about The Last Starfighter.
Cool. So I won't say I'm as rooted in The Last Starfighter. I probably haven't seen it in like 30 years, right? Like it's been a long time. I remember watching it though as a kid and just being like, this is cool. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. It was a lot of fun. I always loved, and I still do, like the makeup and practical effects, like because just especially as a kid, it blew me away when like the beta unit takes his head off and and I'm like, oh wow, Even now I was like, hey, that's still really cool. I was laughing. I was rolling the whole time, just laughing, giggling about it.
And plus, you can change your entire face just by rubbing it with a cloth.
Yes. It's definitely got like a couple of like moments like that are very horror-esque, right? Like something you would see in a horror movie or something.
Yeah.
The way they tortured that guy to death with a laser in the head.
That was brutal.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right?
So, but that goes to how good the effects are or were in this movie. And I think they still kind of hold up. I know they still have that like 80s, vibe to them, but still, I hate, I always bring it up, but I watch a lot of movies now, at least old movies, through the eyes of my kids. Like, so if they are like engaged by it, and then I know it's good. And my 9-year-old just sat there and was like, what's this? And I was like, it's The Last Starfighter. Like, he probably sat down like maybe like a quarter of the way through, but he was in. Like, he just started watching it and he was asking me questions. He'd be like, that looks so cool. I was like, doesn't it though?
That's awesome.
The special effects that, they look very video game like, and I think that's cool. It's very charming. It's very of the time. And but I didn't say anything because I don't like to sway it. But, the 9-year-old was like, wow, that looks real. I was like, I mean, sure. Yeah, great. It looks good. Yeah, it looks good.
So when we saw it the first time.
Exactly. So as a kid, if if you had that stamp of approval, that's a good thing. I love the trope. Well, we'll call it a trope, but it's very late 70s, 80s, and 90s of like the young person that wants to see more, wants to get out of their like mundane life or whatever they think is like holding them back from being great or doing something special. And maybe they don't think they have it, or they think they do. They just don't know how to get to there. I always love that. We've seen it a million times. Luke Skywalker is obviously an example of that, where he finally gets his chance to fight and you're thrown into it, right? You're just sink or swim, and you're made for it though, And so if you believe in yourself and you trust your instincts and what you already know, and plow through, great things are going to happen. I think that's kind of a good message. And I mean, it's said in the movie, you got to grab the opportunity, and just shake it, right? Like, be all in on it. I think that's a great message. I love that message in all movies. I love everything with the beta unit. I already said that. Taking his head off is a lot of fun.
Especially the
one of the most like,
when he shook his own head.
I love the alien creations, just really cool, like creature effects, whatever you want to call it.
epic version of Admiral Akbar. Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
Grig is like
Yeah.
I gravitate so much more to Grig, especially watching it as I'm older. I was like, I love Grig so
Grig,
much. Like, I don't even
head
care
on his
about
shoulders.
Alex.
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I love he's like, I have been waiting to find this like against the all odds moment in my life so that I can go try to die doing the right thing. I'm like,
Yes.
it's literally what you're literally like a samurai. You're like waiting for
It's
that
awesome.
moment.
And then one of my all-time favorite movie lines is from this movie, and it's the end when the command ship is going to crash into the moon, and they're like, Commander Creel, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
and that
he's
little
like-
thing goes, he's like, now we die.
die.
And I just
Yeah.
die. I love
Yeah.
it. That's why I've seen that more than anybody watched the movie. I've seen that last scene so many times. But
Right.
and even my kid was like, that was awesome. I was like, yes, it was.
And
Like
to
a
this
race
day,
rate. Yes.
frequently a line I use with my teams in Fortnite.
now we
Now
die.
we
Exactly.
Hey, but most bad guys don't accept their fate. Like they're like,
Right.
no, or they're running from it, and he's just like, no, well, that planet's going to take us. That's the way that is.
I'm sorry,
It's
but I
just-
wanted the other guy to die. I wanted him to die.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Zur?
for sure.
Yeah,
Zur.
Zur.
Yeah, I was like,
I
come
do-
on, man.
I kind of wish they
Was-
had dug a little more into why he had like
Yeah.
No,
abandoned
absolutely,
his-
yeah.
his
There's an
family,
element
Yeah.
that was missing.
you know.
Like, we should have had a prologue with that. Like,
I'd love to see
Yeah.
Probably
a sequel.
Trade Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
This would be a cool movie to see a sequel. I don't necessarily say a remake, but just I'd like to know more about this universe, this lore, this world. You know what I mean? Something like that. But yeah,
well,
it's such
there's a ton of
charming.
critters we never got to see more of because they all died, and there's
Yeah.
a whole set of
There was-
species.
Yeah.
I also
Just
love
living
it.
on your thing, you know.
I love it in outer space movies when the aliens are aliens. They just
Right.
look weird, right? Like they don't all look like humans with like a prosthetic on their face.
Well, there
or
was a
something, or
bug
pointy
guy that was
ears.
just like holding a normal conversation with Alex about, yeah, hey, dude, this is like,
Hey,
the
what's
way
up, bro?
We're,
Yeah.
we're doing this. Yeah. 100%. I agree with all of that. The we die line, I laugh every freaking time. Like, it's like, hell yeah, dude, you are gonna die. Did anybody else feel like Zur was giving full on like Targaryen from Game of Thrones?
Oh,
Like,
for sure. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
those guys could have been brothers. Like,
Yeah.
I never seen Game of Thrones. but
oh,
you
that's
know,
right. That's right.
But he
You've
was
gotta
giving
watch
me.
it.
Well, he was. It's on the list. But he was giving me. What is it in the? Which Star Wars is that? It might be 8. It might be. Yeah, it might be that
Oh, you're
one.
thinking about Snoke.
Hux?
You're giving
Oh.
Snoke, maybe?
No, not
Or-
Snoke.
yeah,
No,
Hux.
it's giving me what's his name? Donnell Gleason's character, I
Hux,
believe. that's his
General
name.
Hux.
Or
General
yeah,
Hux.
he was giving me Hux.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He was giving me Hux a lot, and I was like, he needs to die. I was like, he needs to be choked out and die.
Power and scumbag. Like, not a
Yeah.
good combination.
Well, according to
I
like
generally want your
Wikipedia,
character
which,
to die. Yeah.
You know, I don't give too much credit to Wikipedia. They said that Zur was like a former Legion person. They got kicked out, and then that's why he's like, that's all.
I mean, his dad
Yeah.
basically threw him out. His dad was like, "Get the hell out of here." They kind of they allude to that at least.
Yeah, but that's like the basis of his whole like he's kind of like a Kylo Ren-ish type of character, you know,
Right.
in a way, you know.
Um.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I don't know what else I could say other than you guys have covered almost everything because it is a brilliant film. I saw this so many times. Most of the time, it was on VHS. Like I watched this we'd rent it like all the time. I was a little young. I saw Gremlins. I didn't see Last Starfighter. It sucks.
That was me.
But it is the kind of movie that I gravitated towards. Sci-fi was always my jam. You're talking about a kid in a trailer park. I literally grew up in a trailer. You're talking about every element of trying to escape your world, and I think we all feel that to a sense. Law alluded to feeling that quite a bit herself. But I think that these stories resonate, even though they're almost like, you know, this is a bit of a carbon copy of Star Wars, as Keys was saying. Like, he's a kid in a trailer park versus a kid on a farm, you know, moisture farm, thrust into it. I don't mind, as Janine mentioned, the whole, like, he was wishy-washy because he just played a video game. He had no reason to believe he was going to get sucked into this. And when they take him back, it's like the shortest second act ever in the history of film.
Yeah.
Like a 12-minute second act where you have like huge act 1, huge act 3. But they're just like, okay, he's going back. Okay, now there's bounty hunters and got to get him back to space somehow. But yeah, bounty hunters are going to come kill my girlfriend. I'd probably go back too, but it still feels like he never really wanted to.
Well,
and I think Greg does a good job of showing that, or like, you really got to let go and like become the Starfighter.
Well, he realizes like death is real. Like I could die doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In
But it's like
the
he's kind
chat,
of stuck now. It's kind of like he's stuck in that world
Right.
now. Like he's
Yeah.
stuck in his
It's too late.
human world, and like I've got to fix Elvira's, you know,
He
electricity.
wants
I
to go
gotta go
back
help
and do
build
like,
this.
Yeah.
I
right.
gotta do this. I have to do all these things, but it's like now you're stuck in this world now because it's like you're literally the last person, and without you, a whole civilization dies. Like, what do you do? Like, you know,
including potentially Earth. Zer's still
right,
alive.
including
Shit can
including
go
Earth,
bad.
but also because
Right.
he's the last, he's like a homie beacon for Earth. So you can't even go back if you wanted to. Even if they were like, you know what, we'll figure it out for ourselves. You go ahead, go back home.
You can't just go home, right?
You can't just go home. So it's like you have to kind of like suck it up, Buttercup. And
I like that the girlfriend goes with him at the end because that never freaking happens in the movie. Like, never happens in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
But also we get her hesitation because she is this kind of person who makes all these excuses not to do the big thing that deep down she wants to do because she's scared.
Right.
So it's kind of her arc in that moment.
Yeah, but also
Yeah,
love
she
her,
did grow a
her
little.
grandmother. Her grandmother was like, "Write me" or whatever they did.
Yeah, she's so chill. All these people
Right.
just so chill about this spaceship and this alien just sitting here.
But it's one of those. But again, I say it's because of Alex, because they were all freaked out at first. They were like, "What is this? What's happening?" They were all on the stairs.
Just explain, and they're like,
It wasn't going so far up, and then when he came down, everybody like, "It's Alex, y'all. It's all good." Like,
It's Alex. So it's good. Yeah, 100%.
we ain't gonna worry
I
about
love
that.
that. I love that.
I love I don't know his name. The black guy in the trailer park. I don't know his name.
Oh
But
yeah.
I loved it when like Maggie started going to the ship. He's like, Maggie.
Uh-oh.
Because that literally would have been me. Like, what you doing?
What are you doing, girl?
Why are you walking
Or
towards
the black guy being the most cautious.
No, literally. And I love that was like my
Right.
favorite. That's one of my favorite parts. I was like, that's literally me. I'll be like, what are you doing? Why are you walking towards it? You don't know
The
what to
other
do.
thing that Janine had mentioned at the beginning when we started talking about the movie was that there was an establishment that all these people knew each other really well. But I think the other reason they were really fond of watching him play the video game was because there's nothing
Nothing else to
There's
do.
fuck all to
in that
do.
trailer,
Yeah.
right?
Just go to the lake.
Nothing.
Yeah.
The lake is the closest thing. The theater maybe. But everybody sees that week,
Because
you know.
where they're at, it seems like they're off of a dirt road, and it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like they're
Feels
like
like,
they
like,
have
like
to,
deep Arizona or something. is
right.
what it
They
feels
had
like.
to drive a distance to go
To do
like
anything.
to
Just
go
to go to the
swim
store.
or whatever, just to
Right.
whatever. So all they do all day is play the game. Because even when the old girl was like, "Where's Alex?" She was like, girl,
You know where he's
yeah.
at. No,
Like,
that was a
no.
dick move of him to get to level like 80 or whatever, and then be like, "Hey, little brother, take over." You don't do that to someone. That's a rude place to take over a game.
Especially your little brother, where you know he ain't got the skills like
And
that.
he's not as good at it, and you know he's not.
He got the skills.
So this is what when I was watching this time, I was really thrown off. I'm sitting there looking at this movie and going, "Wait, did George Lucas watch The Last Starfighter after Return of the Jedi came out?" And then that's what kind of gave him the idea for episode 1, because there's a lot of similar elements between this movie and episode 1 specifically. All the guys on the ship that are like controlling the ship, that's a droid ship, and they're literally like knocking out all the communication of all these ships, just like in Star Wars episode 1. The guys even have like weird faces and are like sitting in these weird little pods inside the ship that are like in the main ship, I mean, just like the critters that are on the main ship in episode 1. Alex,
Frontier.
the episode for the Anakin character. What was that, Keys?
Like the Frontier, and they're waiting for to knock the portal down for the Gungans. So yes,
100%, 100%. And like, there's so many, like, I was just like, holy crap, he watched this and went, I have an idea for the first episode.
Hey, listen, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. Because they looked at Star Wars and was like, got an idea.
Right.
Like, so
yeah, exactly. You're right.
Let's share intellectual property.
Lucasfilm just trolled and said, and we're taking it back.
Exactly.
Right. You're going to copy us, we'll copy you back. That's what we do. The other thing that I did note is, yes, it is, we talked about how it was based on the Arthurian legend, but if you notice, the Ryland symbol is actually a sword. It's actually the sword of Excalibur, which I thought was also a nice little flavor. Let's rate this movie, because we do have another one to talk about, and we don't want to go too long this evening, even though we have a 5-person panel. So we're going to start with Law. What do you rate The Last Starfighter? And remember, no, go ahead.
Just because this was Bry's pick, it's easily a 5. I'm never watching this movie again. No, I can't. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. I don't think this is something I would have watched growing up. I mean, but it is still in the vein of things that I did watch growing up. I don't know. I just didn't. This just wasn't something that like came into my view. So I give it like a 7.5. I give it a 7.5. I think it's a really good film. Give
All
it
right, all right. Now, be aware, audience, we also might have nostalgia glasses on, so please take that in mind. Laws
I don't have
giving you
those
a full
glasses.
rating, no nostalgia glasses. So,
I don't have those glasses.
Janine, what do you rate Last Starfighter?
Yeah, this was a really fun, easy watch. So I give it an 8.5.
Nice.
All right, all right. Will?
Well, I'm gonna split the difference and say I give it an 8.
All right.
Just because I don't want to emphasize or lift it up because of nostalgia, but at the same time, like even when you look at it from a story perspective, it's very well structured. You know,
Yeah.
it's still the not regretful hero, but the what's the word I'm looking for?
Reluctant.
Thank you, the reluctant hero. Like right down to the fact that the whole reason why he can, be the last Starfighter is because he dipped and everyone else died. So
Yeah.
So like they did actually, other than not
Had
understanding.
greatness thrust upon him.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna give it an 8. I mean that because like I was going about 7.5, but with Law taken, I'm not gonna.
You're welcome.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Mickey, what do you rate The Last Starfighter?
Man, I was thinking 8 the whole time. I think I am gonna let the nostalgia glasses take me to an 8.5 though.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's a solid 80s movie. It fits in.
Is.
I don't think it gets the same love that a lot of other things get. Not like popular wise. Like there is a cult following for it, obviously, but yeah, it's just there's too many really good things about the movie. Too much hard work put into it that I think shined and came through on the other end with costuming and camera work and all that stuff. Story and acting. It's I 8.5.
8.5. My nostalgia glasses are really thick. This is a 10.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you give it a 10.
I can't. This is like when I think about movies from my childhood, this one like glows. Like it's almost like Starlight, Starbright. Anyway.
I feel like we're all everybody who like. Cause I feel like if Brian was here, it would be a 10. I feel like we're all going to 10 our own
our own movies.
Yeah, we're going to 10 our own movies.
She rates it an 8, so we got another one there.
Thank goodness you brought up nostalgia, because man, that's generous.
But that's the way I've always rated the films on the Real Studies. I love it, and I rewatch it a ton of times. It becomes a 10, and that's
okay. I'm just an interloper. You don't have to justify to me.
I know. That lets me know I'll probably watch this again somewhere. Like I wouldn't mind watching it again. Because like plot, because y'all know me, I'm a story girl. I like the story. Give me the story, then the characters inform that story. And this story was like it was good, but it was still lacking. And like you could have added like maybe a couple of more things just to kind of like
fill out that act too.
Fill out the just fill it out a little bit. But overall, for it being like an 80s film, I still take that into account. Like it's just still a good film.
Yeah. I love it.
All right,
so the next movie is going to be another pick from All the Movie Things, and this is the 1987 Christopher Columbus comedy Adventures in Babysitting, and this stars Elizabeth Shue as the main actress, and there are others, but she's kind of the standout. Penelope Ann Miller, who I'm going to love talking about her character, but I want to go in reverse order, although I still want to know, La, had you seen Adventures in Babysitting?
No, sir.
Janine, I know Janine has, because she has it. She owns it. She made a whole video about it. And I'm going to assume these two gentlemen have seen it, but let's go in reverse order. Mickey, what do you think of Adventures in Babysitting?
This one had more of an effect on my childhood, I think, out of the two, because this was on constant rewatch for me. I loved Adventures in Babysitting. There was just something. I love Chris Columbus anyway, like as a director. Like everything he touches is gold in my opinion, and Elizabeth Shue, I just had the biggest crush on her back then.
Everyone did.
Especially her character in this movie. She's great. Chris being her name. This is just, I love these kind of adventures off the beaten path. Like everything goes wrong, and you have these very unique people. Again, this is very reminiscent of the 80s. This ensemble of like unique characters that kind of complement each other, and it's a lot of fun. They make hilarious comedic moments. The thing that stands out as a kid, right, is the Thor scene, right, with Vincent D'Onofrio. And I was just
Vincent Philip D'Onofrio.
Sorry. My bad. And I think that's one of the things as a kid that really sucked me in, because I was big into comic books and comic book characters, and Thor was really cool. And so like, I always had that connection when I was watching it as a kid. Like, oh man, Sam loves Thor, and wait, and when I was a kid, I believed that he was Thor, by the way, just like she did.
Right.
When I was a kid, I was like, no, he's right. Like, she's right. Like, he just doesn't have his stuff on. He doesn't know it right now that he's Thor. So that was always a loving part of the movie to me. Man, I feel like I grew up being kind of like Brad. Like, that was kind of who I was. Like, I always wanted, to date that cool, popular girl, but I just wasn't cool enough, or like whatever, she's older than me or whatever. Man, I love all the preconceived notions in this too. Like the guy that I can't remember his name, the tow truck driver, like they're so scared of him.
Yeah.
And everything about him is scary. That truck is scary.
she was just
He's
talking
got
about
a
a can, and then he got a hook, and I was like,
He was the nicest guy.
And then, I mean, he kind of ended up being scary because he tried to shoot
crazy.
that guy. Like, he's shooting at them while they're in the car. I was like, dude, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But no, all these just hilarious things that intertwine together. And I love that. That's really good storytelling to me, or at least I enjoy that kind of storytelling where you have all these arcs and twists going all over the place, and then they kind of come to a fine thread and make everything whole, I guess. Like, you get this, they all had a really important part to the story. Nothing was done for no reason. Like, that's really cool to me. Yeah, this was a big one for me. And just, I don't know. I don't want to run through the whole movie. There's just so many great scenes and moments, and it's all great. It reminds me of being a kid because it was just a big deal. I always wished when I had a babysitter something like this would happen, and it never did. So
Can we do this again next weekend? Right.
But
just
yeah,
like, girl, I'm never seeing you again. Get out of my
yeah,
face.
I don't know what else I can say about the movie. I don't want to like take everything that can be said. So I'm just from there. I freaking love this movie.
All right, that's fair. Now I got a little flack because I forgot to go to Janine for the trivia because this is a new thing we're doing, but also that I didn't go first. So here's what I'm going to do. Janine, tell us the trivia, and then I'll give my spiel, and we'll go from there.
So this was the directorial debut of Christopher Columbus.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Columbus. And the Camaro in the film actually belonged to Bradley Whitford, and he actually had the So Cool license plate. That was his
No,
real
he
license
did
plate.
not. Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, Bradley.
Several people were considered for the role of Chris. Julia Louis-Dreyfus auditioned for the role, but withdrew in favor of Jodie Foster. Foster also withdrew, leaving Michelle Pfeiffer, Valerie Bertinelli, Elizabeth Shue, and Justine Bateman as the only choices. Bateman withdrew as well because she had creative conflicts. And then Michelle Pfeiffer left the project to star in The Witches of Eastwick.
Should tell you the age thing right
Right.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think they tried to make this movie a lot earlier. Is
Yeah.
why a lot of these actresses were tagged to it.
Yeah. And then Bertinelli ended up losing out to Elizabeth Shue. Elizabeth Shue, she actually has the same line that she has in Back to the Future Part 2 or Part 3. In both films, Back to the Future Part 3, Elizabeth Shue faints and says the line, "I have the worst nightmare." Lastly, Sarah wears a backpack with a picture of Gizmo on it, which is a reference to Gremlins that Chris Columbus wrote.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, I do have one more. Anthony
please.
Rapp was told to dye his hair red because they didn't want audiences to mix him up with Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I
Because he
can
was
see that
really blonde.
as a blonde that year. I
Which
could see him doing
honestly, with his hair being red, he still gave me Anthony Michael Hall. Because, I'm sorry, he just
You
did.
think?
I love Anthony Michael Hall, but he still gave me Anthony Michael Hall. But when
Yeah.
they brought his name up in the credits, I was like, really? And then I didn't recognize him for half of the movie.
He
And I
looks so different. You
I
gotta look
didn't
right in his eyes.
right.
man.
I didn't recognize him for half of the movie, and then I
Yeah.
was like, wait, it's that? Oh my god! I was like, okay, so yeah, that was nice.
So this movie is basically one giant 80s trope just strung together.
Yeah.
And it's basically Murphy's Law, the film. Like anything that can go wrong will. And that's what happens to babysitters. The one thing that I recognized this time that I did not see as a child was that this is a movie about affluent children rather than the first movie we saw, which was about a kid in a trailer park. And they even talk about how rich this family is because they own the building, which is one of the largest buildings in Chicago.
It was like our parents'
Which,
building.
Are they rich? Yeah, probably. They drive a Cadillac, which was the ugliest series Cadillac ever in the history ever. I hate 80s cars for the most part.
By the way, I hate to crash in this, but like, if they got the building, they got a penthouse there too, right?
Right. Why are they
could've just
living
had
there?
an
They have to.
overnight.
They
Right.
have to. Why would I
Anyway,
have a house?
I'm sorry.
Why would I be in
you're
this
right.
house?
You're right, Will.
No, you're
There's a lot of
absolutely
those
right.
kinds of things. But this is the kind of movie that as soon as you start pulling on threads, it falls to pieces immediately.
Yeah.
But I do love like the premise to get things going works. Her friend runs away. Totally, that happens. She's stuck at a bus stop and she's going through hell. I absolutely love watching Philip Liam Miller's character through the whole thing, the glasses thing, and the like get me, and the guy with the gun, like for no reason. And I adore all of her parts and the great like build up to that great line at the end, like you'll never guess what I've been through today, while talking to people who've been through, frankly, way worse. But yeah, it's a fun movie. You can tell it's Chris Columbus and has all that like great wonderfulness kind of rooted in it. He loves telling quirky comedies. You can tell that the 80s were a time when people didn't care if people crossed the 18 line, because he was definitely in college and the other guy was in college as a freshman, and
that girl was in
like,
college.
Everybody was like, "Woo, go girl!" Things have changed dramatically since 1987. You were annoyed with Sarah. See, I like Sarah because I actually think Sarah is the brains of the operation. Because she's actually the one that tells them all the right things to do while the three older people panic constantly. So I really did enjoy the Sarah character. I was her age, so I totally related to her. I wasn't a big Thor fan, but I still appreciated what Mickey said about Thor. But I was still, she mentioned Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, she said Spider-Man. That's all I needed to know, that it was fun and in that world. It's a blast. It's not meant to be taken seriously, and Elizabeth Shue is way too freaking old to be playing a 17-year-old in this movie. That said, I'm gonna move to Will Wilkins so we can be in the order that we are in. Go ahead, Will Wilkins.
Man, it's interesting when you come into the room and you're like, I really think I'm gonna rain on everybody's parade here, because for me this movie was 87, right? So at that time I'm 16, and I know I saw this in the theater and I know I liked it, and I know that when it probably came to home video, I did at least watch it once, but rewatching it for me, since I didn't have like a deep emotional attachment, was rough. Like the acting in this one makes the Last Starfighter acting look like it's Oscar worthy. And I know that's a mean thing to say when you got a lot of child actors, but like I mean, admitted, I guess that's kind of Chris Columbus flavor, like when you get to Home Alone too, kind of thing. But it was just like, man, I don't, and I will say though, that it is very hard to do a bad Night of Misadventures movie, right? I think my first introduction to this storytelling method was a movie called Thank God It's Friday. If I could date myself a little more, look it up. And from there you have Adventures in Babysitting, which like generationally speaking can get you to a Can't Hardly Wait, and then Harold and Kumar, right? They're all about the Night of Misadventures. And I don't know, when it came to rewatching, I understand the risks that they had to take and the things they had to be introduced to, but it was just like, for me, this really pushed that plausibility meter to the end. It was redlining, and they were screaming back at the base that we've got to do something to relieve the pressure or something's going to explode. Because it's just like right down to that. Like the moment I fully checked out, guys, I gotta admit it, is the moment when it's like nobody can leave this stage without singing the blues, and I'm like, so the mic guy
love it.
Those carjacker guys' song. I'm sad they didn't show us what those carjackers had.
Yes.
It's just like, come on now. And
I was in.
I'm glad you were. I'm not. And the other thing too is like I was blown away by the cast, really. First of all, because yes, Elizabeth Shue does, that's 17 going on 25. Bradley Whitford looks like he's already out
29, by the way.
See, okay,
I thought he was 30. I was like, he's 30.
Bradley Whitford looked like he's on his first divorce already.
He looks like he was in Happy Gilmore, and it was, or not Happy Gilmore, but
Billy
Billy
Madison.
Madison, and it's still like 5-6 years out. Like,
Yeah, and you know, I think the only one that comes close to plausibility is Penelope Ann Miller. But all that said, looking back on it, seeing the cast, I was kind of blown away by that. And it was I always remembered Vincent D'Onofrio being in this movie because of the massive leap we got from him being, oh God, what was the nickname? Pyle in Full Metal Jacket, I think.
Yes.
So, you know,
Pyle.
but I gotta say though, like, you gotta admit the Thor scene, oh, that's so nice. Look, someone actually in the mean streets of the city, someone did a random act of kindness, and that just was really too quick of a hop from heel for me. It was just a little too much, but all in all, I still sat down to watch it and enjoy it, and then crash a podcast about it. So, you know, it had its benefits too, and I did try to tap into, like, oh, remember back when life remember when life really didn't suck and responsibilities were something you didn't know? Think like that guy and watch that movie again, and yeah, it's still entertaining, because like I said, it's very hard to do a bad Night of Misadventures movie.
Right. My wife ruined that scene for me. I'm not trying to knock her, but she brought something to my attention that my child brain had held on to until 2 nights ago. And that was, he wasn't just placating the child to like give her helmet back, but that he was really Thor. My brain, since I saw this as a kid, always just was like, he's Thor, like Mickey said. But she was like, no, he's just placating her so he can give her the helmet back. I'm like, no, he has a helmet at home. You're killing me. I know he does.
Every comic book nerd is with you, man. Don't worry about it.
We're here.
Watching that scene as a full-ass, grown-ass man, I'm with you still. He wasn't placating anybody.
Okay.
He, you know, he just needed to know they were worthy.
Right. Exactly. Right. And she proved herself by giving up her helmet. That's exactly what I thought. Okay.
Right now,
Janine
and Lala are just like, these damn fools.
Look at these nerds. Okay, Janine, what did you think of this go through Adventures in Babysitting?
Yes, I love this movie. I mean, shameless plug. After season 2 of Stranger Things, I ended up doing a design series of all the characters' season 2 essence and pairing each character with an 80s quote that kind of fit the character. And so since Steve Harrington kind of becomes a Mr. Mom in season 2, which I'm wearing that shirt right now, I put him with the quote, "Don't fuck with the babysitter."
There you go.
So just really love this movie. I love kind of how things just kind of escalate. I love kind of the idea of living somewhere all your life, but you still kind of have this big scary city kind of feeling, like, because you're just kind of in your little cocoon of the suburbs. So you have like this kind of scary concept of the bigger place in the place where you live. So I like that kind of when they got to the city, it was just kind of this sensory overload, everything scary kind of thing for them. Like Mickey said, I love kind of the misconceptions of the people that they kind of ran into thinking they were going to be mean or scary, and then ultimately ended up being people who were really kind and helped them out. So I like kind of them having these judgments about people, but then them not being kind of what they thought they were. I'm obsessed, Snitty, as well, with the Brenda side quest. Like, those are like the funniest scenes for me. And, like, the homeless people get out of my house, and the phone gets me every time. Yes.
It's a payphone. What are you doing? Why is that your home?
That's not a cat. That's a rat.
Yes, her with the little kitty cat, and it's a giant sewer. Oh my gosh, just everything with just kind of cutting back to Brenda and all the kind of ridiculous things she's going through. It just always cracks me up.
And Janine, that is part of the night of mishaps trope, where when you have multiple groups or people, they were the people trapped in she was the person trapped in the stairwell or the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you always kind of cut back to them and then go to our kind of main story.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, I love kind of how the story went, just kind of building up to things just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then Chris kind of having to course correct and really taking her responsibility seriously and wanting to take care of these kids. So when she actually says that line, "Don't fuck with the babysitter," it's just very much like, you know, you're behind her 100% for wanting to kind of protect these kids. So such a fun movie. Something else I was going to say, and I completely blanked on it.
Let's let you interrupt you. Unless you have anything else, let's hear from Alon and see what she thinks.
Go for it,
Adventures in Babysitting.
I enjoyed this film. Again, like I said at the beginning, this is my first time watching this. I've seen this poster like a billion times over the course of my 38 years. Just never quite partook on the film itself until now. I agree. Elizabeth Shue, she was like, when they were like, when the Daryl character was talking to like the prostitute, and she was like, she's too old for you. She's like, I'm the same age as you. So how old are you? She's like 17. Like, I'm 17. So I'm like, girl, you are not 17. But we just play for the film because ain't no way. That's kind of how I felt in the Last Starfighter when Maggie was like talking to Alex's mom. They look like the same person. I was like, y'all the same age.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we doing? You guys are the same person.
And just early people look older. Like when you kind of find out the age of like TV parents and they're the age I don't look like that.
Listen, if you go to like Boy Meets World, I think those parents are like in their 30s, like 34, 35.
Exactly.
I was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought this fun. I thought this film was fun. I love an adventure film. I love a scene that kind of like takes all night. You know, that was a big trope in like the 80s, 90s. It's like clean everything up before the parents get home. Like that was such a trope.
Yeah.
And,
This was giving Ferris Bueller's like the
know,
whole
Oh yes.
and it was just like, you know, it was very gotta go fast. Like you gotta hurry up, gotta do these things. Seeing Vincent D'Onofrio, he's like one of my favorite actors. Just seeing him pop up randomly blonde and thin, I was like, what?
Yeah, kind of buff, like what?
You feel me? I was like, what's happening? I was like, yes, he is. I was like, yes, he is Thor. Mind you, I love the fact.
Full Metal Jacket and talk about a different D'Onofrio than you're expecting.
Okay.
Like not in a good way.
It's
like,
okay. I'm gonna like him regardless. I'm gonna like something.
You know, he's his performance is amazing. That's not what I mean, but like you should just go watch Full Metal.
Listen, even his character, I'm find something. Okay, but I love Sarah. I think she's so cute. She's such a like little kid. Like she kind of reminds me of like how I grew up. Like I grew up around boys. So you have like there's cadence to girls when they grew up around boys, and she kind of has that cadence. She kind of has that like I don't care type of feel. Like, oh, we're gonna go do this. Like why is everybody so pressed? Like let's kind of it's a different like rhythm you get when you grow up around boys like that. So like I loved her character. I thought she was funny. But she felt like a kid, like a precocious kid that was just like anytime something bad happened, she was gung ho for it. She was so ready. She was
she wasn't scared really at all.
She wasn't really scared.
Can we do that again? Yeah.
No, for real, like the tire pops, she's all smiles. Like if you watch that scene again, she's smiling while they're like in traffic almost dying, you know, and she's like
and Daryl maniacally laughing, like, oh that's
no.
That kid is whack in the
You know,
head.
he sounded just like Alex in Last Starfighter. Well, Beta in Last Starfighter. He was like, ha 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 ha.
Oh yeah,
like he sounded very similar to him, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought like I don't know the Brenda like Janine and Snitty brought up like the Brenda side quest. I would take a short of seeing that from start to finish to see everything she went through. Because personally, for me, like if she felt like a young person who regretted their decision, and now everything is very heightened and everybody's coming to get me. Now I understand that like the homeless man was like, "Yo, you in my house," type of thing. Like ownership is a very big thing. I get that the guy had a gun. I get that, but old girl taking her glasses sent me through the roof. I said,
that old lady just sneaked.
I said, girl, okay. As a person who wears glasses, and it's like 4 of us on here who wear glasses. There is no way. I understand eyes getting tired when I look at a screen every single day. Like all day at work, when I come home, I stream, whatever. I look at a screen all the time. And yes, my eyes get tired. When I take my glasses off, they don't leave my hand. What you are afraid of this place. Why are you putting the thing you need to see on the side of the of the chair where you could just push it up on your head? I said, girl, you are making issues for yourself. Stop making issues for yourself.
She also put on sunglasses and she's blind now, which I thought was hilarious.
No, she was just like, I'm blind. And then why are you randomly picking up animals when you can't see? You cannot see. Why are you
She's
just
kind at heart, Law. Come on, she wants to help the animals.
No, she needs to sit down and wait for Chris to come get her.
I
And
love
here's the
that
thing.
the bag lady lost the glasses back. She's like, thief. I'm like,
thief.
no, dude.
I'm like, ma'am.
What are you doing?
Not to mention the
get
big
out of my house.
Thank you.
Oh,
The
yeah.
big twist.
But even her
Get out of my house.
flippers out. You just moved.
You just moved. I'm like, girl. So like, I enjoyed that. I thought that was a very fun like cut back to
Cutaway.
you know?
Yeah, a good B
like,
story.
Right, to kind of like
Break it
I'll
up.
be honest, if we just had the whole story of these people running around, I would have got so bored. I'd have been like, what are we doing? Like,
Right.
But it was kind of like Brenda's story was like a commercial break. Like in the story.
What a good one, right?
In a good one, yeah.
I think she's also there to help remind us, wait, why are they going through all this again? Because honestly, the first time we cut back to her, I was like, oh yeah, you're the reason.
Yeah, no,
why we
for
did
sure.
this.
But you would need that. But also it's like, don't like, okay, I agree with Aina because I was like looking at the chat and everything. I agree with Aina. And I don't think my message didn't come through. I would have punched Brenda in the face when we finally got home. And then you was like, I don't want to go home. Nah, I'm gonna throw you to your parents' house if you don't hurt. Like, we've all been through a lot tonight. I don't care about you not liking your stepmama. Go home. You wanted to leave that place. Go home, baby girl.
Go.
Right.
Like, please go home. I enjoyed all the characters. I think that Joe deserves a shout out because Joe was like one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah.
Because he was just so chill. Mind you, I love his hair because, like, don't get it twisted. In the 80s, they didn't know how to do no black hair. They still don't. But so I thoroughly enjoyed like his hair. He had like a cute like hairstyle, but I enjoyed his character. I thought he was funny.
Just chill.
He was like a chill dude, but also he was like he was just like, yo, this gives me money. He wasn't necessarily a bad guy. He just did some bad things.
No,
like,
the whole
money?
like kids getting upset or like worried about him. I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like a guy who robs things he's not going to pull a gun and kill people because that's a whole nother level.
That's a whole other level of where he's
You're not going to jump up like that.
That's not where he's at, but like I like that he was like he saw them escape and was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Like you know what I mean? Like he was just like, that's pretty.
He stayed true to his word. He promised nothing would happen.
You know, he was like, nothing would happen, and then it's like he comes back, he punches the guy. Mind you, y'all only got one time to hit me, then I think I'm out the crew. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't get to punch me because he's like, think about it. If I'm still in this car and these people are in it. She was like, you can drop me off. He was like, nah, we'll see what happens when we get
But then takes them to the place that puts them in trouble, right?
Right. So he is stupid for that. Like, you don't take him to a chop.
Not knowing these people you're working for.
Not knowing these, right.
With the kids
you don't do that. But also, it's at the same time, he was like, well, I just couldn't abandon these kids on the street. You know what I mean? So just like.
But he could have been late and taken them to the bus station. That's just me.
I mean,
maybe
that's where Brenda was.
No, facts. Or he could have dropped them off at the garage to get
the garage,
car. But
right? Take him to where the car is.
We wouldn't have a story. But I just liked the Joe character. I thought he was just like he was literally Joe Cool. You know what I'm saying? Cigarettes. Sorry, don't smoke them. But he was like, I thought he was just like a really cool character. I will say that the villain who wanted the Playboy, we could have did something different with that.
Yeah,
I thought it was
as 80s villain as you're gonna get.
He does have. He's very 80s villain.
Looking like that.
But I will say I thoroughly enjoyed the hijinks of this film because not her in the coat walking around looking for the girl like she's incognito. Like nobody. You're the only person in the coat.
This is hijinks into the movie.
No, literally. Like, and but to me, like that's the fun of like just having fun in a film. It's just like she's walking around with a coat, acting like she's a Marvel character. All she needed was a hat. Like she's walking around with a coat, But then it's like her wrapping it was very Looney Tunes, her wrapping the cord around his foot. And then him tripping and falling.
I would not see somebody at my feet wrapping a cord. Like I'm
but
sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. You're not that.
It is a cartoon. You're right. This is a live action cartoon. This has a lot of the cartoon tropes in it. Yeah,
it does,
100%.
but I still thought it was funny because like the mother is like, well, who's the caterer? He's like, what?
Right.
What? Like he's so distracted by the what that like you don't see this girl at your feet wrapping this cord around your feet like that's. I was like hijink city. The blue scene that everybody brought up. I'm gonna be totally honest. When she came on stage, part of me was like, why didn't y'all just go back off stage or try to run down this? Like, why are y'all like standing on the stage? But I was so annoyed when he was like, you can't, you got to sing the blues. I was like, y'all about to have these white kids sing the blues. I'm like, what? are we doing? I was
love that.
I was so annoyed, but then when they kind of got into it, I was like, I ain't mad at it. Like, I was literally the crowd. I was literally the
No, and
crowd.
the kids are over there dancing like this, back
No,
and
literally.
forth.
Once you see everyone getting behind them, you're like, okay.
No, I was literally the crowd. I started off like, what are
Well,
we?
they were the kid that comes up that does the single clap, and it worked. Like they
Nah,
got
I
the
was
crowd
so
with the clap.
disappointed. But they got me. Eventually, they got me. Because their night has been filled with some blues. I get it, but I was kind of like,
what are we doing?
What are we doing? Why are we doing this in this film? Because it just felt very like 80s, like black
It was a
music.
non-blues in Chicago at the time.
It's kind of like a thing. But I was annoyed. But then it all changed because like once the other band people started kind of getting in with it and ad-libbing and adding kind of stuff, it turned into a smooth little jam.
And the audience was literally like,
listen,
nods of approval.
Exactly. They turned me around just like they turned the crowd around. Like I'm telling you, I could have been in the scene with the crowd because I was very like
suspect at first.
So I was extremely suspect. I was like, what
just shaking your head like,
what are we doing? And I was like, but it was a very, very fun scene. So like I do enjoy that scene. Overall, I thought this movie was just a fun hijinks. I liked that everybody, like all the stories that we've seen got completed. Like the story with her boyfriend got completed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even the story with what's his name? Brad liking her still got completed in a way.
Yeah,
like
the college guy.
Right. I mean, that's one part I'll down this hill. I didn't like that at all.
You didn't like the stalkery bit at the end?
I mean, it's not really stalkery if the address is on the skate. He's just returning the address. He's just returning the skate.
Yeah, but he returned it to the wrong place because if she hadn't been outside, it would have the gig was up. They would have been
for sure. But I just personally don't like the fact like they didn't. I don't. What connection? Like in 2.5 seconds, you just.
Hey,
I want you to be my babysitter.
I knew how many people loved Elizabeth Shue at this time and had a crush on her.
No, absolutely.
She was the Playboy girl too. She was
for sure. But I was just like, that's a trope in movies I don't like. I don't think I've ever liked them. Yeah. So I won't get on board with that. I just won't
avoid all 80s rom-com then because
Here's the thing. I love the 80s. I love 80s films. It's like one of my favorite eras to watch movies in. I love 80s rom-com. I just don't like that trope, and it's probably because they overuse it in the 80s, and then it trickled to the 90s a little bit because it's just like life doesn't happen like that. And I get that movies are supposed to be like the life we want, the height and sympathy we want, all that kind of stuff. Blah blah blah. I don't like it.
In the 2000s, you don't see any of that trope. Like they were like, no, we're getting rid of this now.
No, for sure. I just personally don't like it. But but again, she deserved to see because it's established in the beginning that Mike is the only dude that she's been with, so she's like head over heels for somebody when you haven't even explored you're 17 and you haven't even explored your life and met other people and had other conversations. So again, that gets cleared up for her to be like, oh, it's nicer people out here. It's people that can treat me nice.
You gotta have an arc somehow, I guess.
And that's cool. But I was just like, so now y'all in love? You giving her money? What? I'd have been so skeptical. I'm so skeptical of that. I'm like, you just giving me money? Why? Because I'm cute? Okay. I mean, that happens now.
In distress.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. But I like that. I love all the hygiene. And both of these movies have Playboy connections. So I was just like, I think
and you made that comment. We're talking about how the brother Lewis would probably be friends with is it Dylan? Daryl. They'd be like,
I think they would send Playboys through the mail to each other because
100%. Oh, I didn't get March. Send me March.
No, for sure.
But again, with the Halloween connection, that's what I was gonna say. Did anyone else hear the Halloween music on the TV when Chris first gets to the house? I was like,
that's right. That was happening.
Hill of all, I guess she was like, yeah, you can use this Halloween music.
Why not? Because movies do that all the time. I mean, if you look at the Halloween was playing a movie from before,
because it wasn't playing Halloween, but it was just using the music and something else was on the TV.
There's a connection to Gone with the Wind in Adventures in Babysitting because in the chop shop, the guy yells out "Quitting time." That's Gone with the Wind, and he literally yells it out like that character does in Going to Win, and I thought that was crazy. So
interesting. I was like, almost like a Wilhelm scream. Will, you were going to say?
Well, three things. The first is actually one thing I did clock is that this movie has a very minimal use of soundtrack. It uses music, but not a lot of soundtrack, which is why I think like the first 30 minutes for me were kind of dry. Not that I'm saying it's bad, it's just one of the things I clocked. Two,
what was the money on that first song is what
right? What was the friend's name? Was it Daryl?
Such a fun opening too.
Daryl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't care what position I have as babysitter over this kid. 5 minutes into him being under my care, I'd have whooped his ass. Because, I mean, I understand he's the id that gets us to some places, but still, come on now.
You think?
And three, just got to mention, since Lala mentioned the poster, pour another one out for the great Drew Struzan, because this is another instantly the moment you, and I'll say you can tell because the moment you said the poster, I pictured it in my mind, and I'm just, although I did a quick Google not to make an ass out of myself, but I just knew just from the picture in my head, the memory, I'm like, oh, that's a Struzan. It's got to be.
Oh yeah. And you can, and I think I saw a picture of the actors reuniting, and they kind of tried to replicate the pose of the poster.
That's cool.
That's awesome. I have one more comment I'm going to make, and then we're going to wrap up because we are going to get over time if we're not careful. Did anybody else notice and hate the name of Mike's new girlfriend, Sesame Plexer?
Yeah, Sesame Plexer. I said,
what the hell is that?
I was like,
there was some weed in the writer's room.
Apparently.
Honestly,
I hated it so much. It's not in the credits. It just says Sesame. They didn't even add the Plexer in the credits.
I would love like a behind the scenes of where that name came from. Like how they came up with that name.
Is it even a real name? Like Sesame, sure, but Plexer, I've never even heard that name.
They probably ran out of budget for legal to run clearance on things, and they're like, we're gonna
making words up. I love it. All right, we're gonna rate this, and then we of course have next week, and we're gonna say thank you to our amazing special guests. But why don't we start with Nikki, since I went out of weird order? What do you rate Adventures in Babysitting?
I'm gonna let the feels guide me on this one and give it a 9. I know it's not perfect. I hear all the problems you guys are talking about, but this is still like a childhood favorite and like maybe like a mental health movie. Like if if I want to like feel better, if I just want something relaxing on, I mean, this
like
is
a sick day movie.
Yeah, for sure. This was always right there with Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like these are two movies were always on TV at some point in my childhood and teens. So yes, very much so. There's just so many fun things about this adventure. I already talked about it. It also leans into like, I like that everybody that seemed so dangerous was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And were like good hearted, at least to some extent. And because I mean, that's kind of how, I go through life. I kind of hope that people are always like, you're going to do the right thing, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
So it's good to see that in movies too. It makes me feel better. And I love it. It's a classic.
A 9. So those are like Coke bottle nostalgia glasses. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I get it.
Will Wilkins.
It's going to shock you. I'm giving it an 8.5.
Yeah.
Because as I said, like all of my complaints aside, it's hard to screw up a Night of a Misadventure movie. So I still sat there.
So it didn't stick for you, but you think it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I can appreciate that. I did it again. I skipped myself, so I'm going to insert myself back in here real quick. I'm kind of, the nostalgia is so thick. It's hard not to love this. I'm going to go with a 9. I'm going to match things on that. Just because it's one of those movies, when I think about it, I'm like, ooh, I get these warm feeling,
Yes.
So yeah. Janine.
Definitely the nostalgia was hidden for me as well, so I give it a 9. I'm there with the hyena, a TBS baby, so I watched the first time I saw this was TBS. I loved the Chris character from that opening scene of her just singing and dancing around her room, very relatable. And just love this as a female-led comedy, and also her just kind of being a strong character with everything she has to face and taking care of these kids. So I love this movie. 9.
I love it. La.
I love 80s films. It had violence, domestic violence. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
If that's not 80s, I don't know what it is.
murder attempts.
You know, murder attempts. You know,
I don't know.
People
Domestic violence or
age pairings.
cocaine. I don't know which
You
one's
know,
more 80s.
it had
Gang violence.
It had gang violence. You know what I mean? It had a chop shop. It had a dude with
That
a
felt
hook
like
for
a nod
hand.
to the Warriors, the whole gang violence on the subway
yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Or my brain, I was like Thriller. I mean, I was like. I was
Fair
like,
enough.
I was like,
Right.
Beat It.
Bad,
Beat
yeah.
It. I was like, bad. Yeah,
Beat It was also like a nod
Yeah.
to Warriors.
No, it is. I was like, Beat It. The moment they came out with we had the switchblade, I said, sir, if you don't go dance your way about this, get out of here.
Right.
But I don't have nostalgia glasses. I think this was a really good film. It's a fun one. I think it's the one I can put in my rotation. It's a solid 8 for me. I would like to get this on digital because Disney was like, don't fool with me. I'm like, oh my lord.
Hey,
oh my god.
That thing had more a-holes, F's, and things covered up more than it was edited worse than Mormon porn.
Right.
Yeah, I did this for another podcast.
Rated R.
Yeah.
In a sense, and it's like
It's PG-13.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know, but it was just
You
like
know-
but it just felt very. It felt way more for like all the language they were using, and Disney just killed me with the whole.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
fool with me. Don't do this with me. I'm like, just say the
I
word.
tried to warn you, because I did this.
No.
Because I did this a couple months ago for my other podcast, and I watched the Disney Plus version, and I realized they had cut out all the language. So I made sure I told you guys if
Oh man, I
watch it on Disney Plus because
I wish I had gotten the memo because that was jarring. I'm not going to tip my hat to anything, but had I had that warning, yo ho, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't think anything will ever hit the Big Lebowski level of that's what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps. I think that is the permanent worst one ever.
No, wait, my favorite.
Don't fuck with the babysitter is such an iconic line. Like
it's such a good line.
I gotta say though, as an early fan of all of the Schwarzenegger nonsense in The Predator, the TV cut, it's supposed to be this is bullshit, all of it. Instead of this is baloney, all of it. I'm like, there's no way that guy's saying baloney. Come on.
No way.
How jarring that was
back then, like with the accent.
This is the first episode of 4 that we're going to be doing for Nostalgia. So next week, do join us because we're going to have Janine's Fix, and we're going to be doing both Mortal Kombat and The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. So do check those out. And then we've got Law the next week after that, where we're doing Jungle Book, not the cartoon, and Tarzan the cartoon. So be aware if you get that wrong. You can get that wrong. And then we'll get to mine at the end of the month with some sci-fi and teen angst. That said, this has been episode 8 of season 5 of The Real Study. We really appreciate our guests stopping by. Will, thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Nikki. We appreciate you guys. And of course, ladies, thank you for always being here. And we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy.
Follow us everywhere or we will find you.
We will. We will find you.